Chapter 1808. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Reads book web, update quickly, no pop-up window, read for free. Emoji and Yuan Yen looked at Sima Yue and the black dragon shrouded in black light and couldn't react. The development of this matter was too inexplicable. Why did she encounter a black dragon, and the other party directly contracted with her? Were all the underworld beasts so easy to contract now? Why didn't they encounter such a good thing? After a while, the light of the contract slowly dissipated, and then she was shrouded in the light of promotion. Middle stage underworld demon master, late stage underworld demon master, early stage underworld demon master, middle stage underworld demon master, late stage underworld demon master. She directly crossed a big level. What kind of system did she have that a contract could actually make her advance? The two of them didn't know whether this was the result of her efforts to suppress it. If she continued to advance, her soul body would not be able to bear it. She transferred her power to the soul pagoda, and the soul pagoda bore this part of the power. The dried-up soul pagoda began to change greatly. The dying plants were restored to vitality, the sky was completely changed to the previous azure blue, and the areas shrouded in fog were restored to their usual appearance. Only the sleeping beasts were still not awake. You. The crisp child's voice was filled with nostalgia, making Sima Yue's heart tremble. Little spirit, you woke up?
Yeah.
I woke up. The spiritual power you transferred helped me recover a lot. Little spirit said, are you okay? I'm fine. I'll find a chance to see you. Sima Yue suppressed her excitement and couldn't wait to go in and see him immediately. Well, I'll wait for you. The soul pagoda is in a mess, I have to tidy it up. After Little Spirit finished speaking, he went to work on the soul pagoda. Yuan Yen and Emoji saw the smile on her face. It didn't seem to be because of the contract with a black dragon, but it seemed to have a kind of relief, a kind of bond. How do you feel? Why are you smiling so strangely? Sima Yue did not restrain the smile on her face, but she was in a good mood now. I'm fine. I'm so happy to be able to contract a little black dragon. She stroked the little black dragon's head and happily said. The little black dragon intimately rubbed against her hand, just like its ancestors had done. I didn't expect that when I finally saw a black dragon, it actually contracted with you. This is really fantastic. Yuan Yen stared straight at the little black dragon, and the envy and jealousy in his eyes were undisguised. This is called fate. Sima Yue looked at him proudly. This eggshell is still very new. Was it just born? Emoji saw the eggshell in the corner. There was still some mucus inside. It looked very fresh. The little black dragon jumped over, rolled up the 2 eggshells, and dragged them in front of Sima Yue. You, this is for you. It looked at Sima Yue eagerly. This is very useful. Sima Yue looked at the eggshell that was still taller than her even if it was split into 2. You want to give it to me?
Yeah.
The little black dragon nodded. You put it away. The black dragon's eggshell is extremely hard. If you put it away, it will be of great use in the future.
Emoji said,
Thank you, little black dragon. Sima Yue put away the eggshell. As long as you likes it. The little black dragon happily turned around twice, rolling Sima Yue in the middle. Why does the little black dragon call you Yu? Yuan Yen looked at her doubtfully. Sima Yue's body stiffened, and she explained with a smile, it treats me as the person in its inheritance. It's probably because you look like that person, so it will contract with you. Emoji said, anyway, it's better than it being our enemy.
That's right.
Little black dragon, we're going out. Can we get outside from here? Sima Yue asked. Hey Yen, you forgot my name. Hey Yen said unhappily. Well, hey Yen, do you know there's a way out here? Sima Yue asked. I've never left here, so I don't know how to get outside. Hey Yen said apologetically. It doesn't matter. Sima Yue touched its head. Although it has many inheritances, it has no memory of leaving here. Since this is a cave, there should be a way out. Let's try going out of the cave. Emoji said. You, don't be afraid, I can protect you. The little black dragon said. Well, I'll wait for you to protect me. Sima Yue responded, but she didn't take this to heart. Its strength is not like that of a newborn beast. Emoji said, his parents should have injected their power into him, who is still in the eggshell. That's why I can advance so much. Sima Yue shook her hand, she still couldn't control the power in her body very well. Suddenly getting so much power, you will feel uncontrollable. Yuan Yen said, when you get used to it, you will know the beauty of mastering power.
Yeah.
Let's go out. Sima Yue let Hei Yen turn into a smaller mimicry. Hei Yen turned into a small black snake and wrapped it around Sima Yue's wrist. Sima Yue looked at his satisfied appearance. She didn't know if the two would have a dispute over the place after the little golden snake woke up. They set off from the entrance of the cave, and soon left the cave and came outside. When they went out, they were shocked by the situation outside. Thousands of underworld beasts were gathered outside, all crawling on the ground. Seeing them, the beasts were a little confused. They clearly felt the strong aura of the underworld beasts. How could it be 3 ghost clan members who came out? Where is the king of my clan? The leader of the underworld beasts was a tiger, which was also a sacred beast. What are you all doing around here? Hurry up and disperse. The little black dragon raised his head from Sima Yue's wrist and reprimanded with dissatisfaction. My lord, we are here to worship. Before Ming who could finish his words, he was sent flying by Hei Yan's tail. He got up from the ground and left with the beasts dejectedly. Hei Yan waved his tail at Sima Yue, looking like a guy who deserved praise. Sima Yue touched his tail and praised, Hei Yan is so powerful, use him to protect me in the future.
Yeah.
Hei Yan happily returned to her hand. Murong Hui's anxious voice came from afar. Sima Yue looked over and saw Murong Hui running over with a group of guards. Father, why are you here? Wasn't he dealing with the matter of the mineral vein? Murong Hui flew over and saw that she was intact. He was relieved and said, I saw that something seemed to have happened in the inner region. I was worried that you would encounter those rioting underworld beasts, so I came to find you. Sima Yue felt a warm current in her heart. She went up and took Murong Hui's arm and said, the riot was caused by these 2 guys, but it has been resolved now. That's good. Murong Hui was relieved and felt that there was a change in the space ring. He took out the Sun Mother stone, and the voice of the housekeeper immediately came from inside. Master, come back quickly, something happened to the mineral vein. Chapter 1809. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Read book web, update quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Something happened to the mineral vein. Murong Lin's words made Murong Hui and Sima Yue nervous. This mineral vein was found by them with great difficulty, and they can't let others get away with it. Let's rush over now. Murong Hui cut off the connection and called out his flying beast to go over. Dad, the mineral vein is too far away from here. We may not be able to get there in time. Sima Yue stopped him and said, do you have any other way? Murong Hui asked. Yes, Emoji, help me. Sima Yue said. Emoji raised his eyebrows. This guy is very handy when using me. However, he still helped her arrange a teleportation array. This kind of teleportation array was not difficult for him. With the help of Sima Yue, the teleportation array was arranged in half an hour. Everyone entered the teleportation array and soon disappeared from their original place. When they came out of the teleportation array, they saw the guards of the Duke Mansion fighting with a group of black-clothed people. You stay here, the others come with me. Invaders will be killed without mercy. A-class equals __CF email _ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection, email protected, replied and led the guards to join the battle. Sima Yue wanted to help, but was stopped by Yuan Yen. Your father is very powerful, don't get involved. Stay here obediently, we are here to protect you. Sima Yue wanted to say that she had a contract beast, but seeing that Emoji was also looking at her disapprovingly, and the battle situation over there was also reversed because of the addition of Murong Hui and the others, she did not insist. These people don't look like people from vast region. Emoji observed those people for a while and said, if I guess right, These people may be the 7th prince's people. Sima Yue said, Do you know this 7th prince? 7th prince? Why do you guess it's him? He has never interfered in these things. Yuan Yen didn't believe it. Are you close to him? Sima Yue turned to look at him. Not really, but the 7th prince has a good reputation in the Great Yu dynasty. It is said that the 7th prince is gentle and refined, treats people gently, and rarely participates in these political affairs. Yuan Yen said, I have also seen him several times, and it is indeed like the rumors. Sima Yue turned her head and continued to watch the battle between Murong Hui and the man in black. She said, Have you forgotten what the master of the Shao family said in the array? If the 7th prince is really as good as you say, these things wouldn't have happened. Yuan Yen also remembered that matter, so it seemed that this might indeed be his doing. It seems that the rumors are true. Wang Ye's body is injured and he has not recovered from his serious injuries. All the princes are ready to make a move. Emoji murmured. Dad didn't want to get involved in this, but he was dragged into it. Sima Yue sighed. Although vast region is not very powerful, if you get your father's support, it is equivalent to getting your mother's support. Wang Ye will more or less consider this when passing on the throne. Yuan Yen said, Once your father is unwilling to stand in line, those princes will naturally want to do something to your father in order not to let others get it. My mother. Alas, I don't know if Dad regrets marrying a person with such a high status now. If possible, I think he would prefer my mother to be an ordinary person. Sima Yue said, Your mother's identity really makes people think. After all, your uncle's support is too influential. Emoji said, Is my uncle also a Wang Ye? Sima Yue asked. Yes, but your uncle's dynasty is much more powerful than the Great Yu dynasty. You will slowly come into contact with these in the future. Emoji said. Sima Yue nodded, and only the two of them understood the meaning. The battle lasted for more than an hour. Although it was difficult, all the black-clothed men were killed. Dad, how are you? Sima Yue flew over and saw Murong Hui covered in blood, worried about his injury. I'm fine, it's just some skin wounds. Murong Hui touched his right arm, and black blood flowed out from his fingers. Dad, you're bleeding, let's bandage the wound first. Sima Yue took out white gauze, bandaged his arm briefly, and then gave him a medicinal pill. The other injured guards were also bandaged. Although their losses were more serious, they also kept the mineral vein. Sima Yue saw that Murong Lin was also injured, and after bandaging Murong Hui, she went to bandage him. Uncle Lin, how are you? I'm fine. Thank you, Mississippi. Uncle Lin, how is Shao family? Sima Yue asked. When she and Murong Hui came to Moon Creek Valley, Murong Lin stayed in the city to meet them. After confirming that it was Shao family, he took people to destroy Shao family. Then he rushed here with people to support Murong Hui. It was because of his arrival that Murong Hui took time out to find her in the inner region. Murong Lin knew that she had a good relationship with Shao Ruabai and said, Shao family is gone. Is that so? Sima Yue had already guessed the result. What about Ruba? Do you have her whereabouts? We sent people to check after receiving the news. She should have been taken to King City. Murong Lin said, King City is heavily guarded. I'm afraid it will be more difficult to find out her specific whereabouts. Just know that she's still alive. There's no need to check anymore. Sima Yue pursed her lips and asked them not to continue. Murong Hui went to count the number of people, arranged the guards to keep watch, and let others rest. After doing all this, he came to Sima Yue and said, It will take a while for things here to be over. I'll let you send you back. No need, father, I'll go back with them. Sima Yue knew that there were a lot of things here. She didn't have so much time to waste here. Returning to the Duke mansion would be better for her cultivation. Murong Hui was a little worried, but seeing her insistence, he no longer said anything and let her go back with Emoji and the others. Sima Yue returned to Vast City and couldn't wait to return to the Duke mansion. When she heard Yuan Yen behind her say that he would come to find her later, she didn't turn around to answer. Back at the Duke mansion, Ting Shan and Ting Shui were very happy to hear the news of her return. After all, they heard that the journey to Moon Creek Valley was not peaceful. After Sima Yue asked the two of them some questions, she went back to her room alone, and no one was allowed to disturb her. After setting up a barrier, she entered the spirit pagoda. Yu. Little spirit felt it the moment she came in, and with a thought, he appeared in her arms. Sima Yue hugged him and kissed him on the cheek. Little spirit, you finally woke up. I missed you so much. I missed you too. Little spirit rarely showed his emotions, and hugged Sima Yue's neck and refused to let go. Sima Yue looked at the restored order of the spirit pagoda, and sighed that he was still needed here. Little spirit loosened her a little after a while and said, "By the way, your father and the others have also woken up. Do you want to see them?" Chapter 1810. 1 second to remember. Love divided by you? Reads book, web no pop-up window. Free to read. Sima Yue's eyes lit up. Father and the rest are awake? They woke up with me. Now everyone is awake except for Little Seven and the rest. Little Spirit said. Then let's go and see Father. Sima Yue carried Little Spirit to the living area, which had been restored to its original state. Young Miss. Sima Lu Xian and Enlei saw her and ran over excitedly. Father, Enlei. Sima Yue hugged Sima Lu Xian. You're finally awake. How are you? What's going on? Sima Lu Xian hugged Sima Yue and felt that she was a little different. What's wrong with your body? Father, don't worry, I'm fine now. Sima Yue let go of him and held his arm instead. How can you be fine? The spirit pagoda almost collapsed and your contracted beasts are all asleep. Do you think your words are convincing? Sima Lu Xian glared at her. Don't try to fool me. Tell me honestly, did something happen to you in the Sage Pavilion? Are we still in the Sage Pavilion? We're not in the Sage Pavilion now. Sima Yue glanced at him carefully. Well, we're in the Ghost Realm now. What? We're in the Ghost Realm now. Sima Lu Xian and Enlei were shocked by this news. Why are we in the Ghost Realm? You? Did you use the method that Mou taught you? Didn't you say that you need to increase your strength before you can do it? Sima Lu Xian asked. Seeing Sima Yue pursed her lips and didn't say anything, he frowned. What's going on? Well, actually it's nothing, it's just that, during the battle in the Sage Pavilion, I couldn't control the power in my body and exploded, and died. Father, don't worry, I'm fine. Sima Yue saw Sima Lu Xian's face turn pale and quickly comforted him. You're already dead, and you call this fine? Sima Lu Xian touched her cheek. It's all Father's fault, I didn't protect you well. Father, I'm actually not dead. Sima Yue said, my body seems to have been saved by someone, but my soul can't return, so it can only be considered an out-of-body experience. When my ghost cultivation reaches a certain level, I will be able to fuse with my body. No wonder all your contracted beasts fell into a deep slumber. Enlei sighed. One had to know that in her situation, it was already a miracle that her contracted beast was still alive. What happened that day? Don't hide it from me, tell me everything. Sima Lu Xian looked at her, not allowing her to escape or lie. Sima Yue had no choice but to tell her everything that had happened that day. After Sima Lu Xian finished listening, he was silent for a long time before he sighed faintly. The prophecy said that you would be the one to destroy the Sage Pavilion, so they killed all female spirit masters everywhere, causing you to disguise as a man for so many years. I didn't expect that after going around in circles, they would still be destroyed by you. It's just that the price to pay is too heavy for you. Actually, it's not that bad. Sima Yue smiled. Haven't we always wanted to enter the ghost realm? This isn't the most above-board way to do it. And it's nothing for me, I just need to cultivate again. Cultivate again, it's just a few words. But it's easier said than done. Sima Lu Xian looked at his daughter with heartache. Why did she have to suffer so much? Ghost cultivation seems to have to cultivate the soul body and spirit power. Enlei looked at Sima Yue sympathetically. How hard must it be? Actually, I just need to cultivate the soul body. Sima Yue said, I was saved by my ancestor before I came to the ghost realm. He sealed his power into my body. As long as I cultivate the soul body, the sealed power will naturally be unlocked. and I'm very familiar with the cultivation method of cultivating the soul body. It's a method that Ling Yu gave me to cultivate the soul. That's good. So, Father, you don't have to worry about me. Sima Yue smiled, took down the black rock and said, look at the spirit beast that I contracted in the ghost realm. It's a black dragon. This is the dragon clan second only to the green dragon. How is it, isn't it powerful? Not bad. There's also Little Purple. Sima Yue called Little Purple over. Look at Little Purple, it's the top grade purple lightning in my body, now it's also transformed. So I'm still doing well in the ghost realm. Sima Lu Xian smiled and nodded. He knew that she did this to let him not be so worried, so he pretended not to be worried. By the way, Father, there are ghost clansmen outside now, you'll be noticed if you go out. So you'll have to stay in the spirit pagoda for the rest of the time. It's okay. You're so good here, you can cultivate well outside. Sima Lu Xian said, but, if you encounter any danger, you must let us out. It can't be like the last time. I will. Really, Father, you have to believe me. Seeing Sima Lu Xian's distrustful gaze, she almost raised her hand to swear. Your credibility is not good. Sima Lu Xian glanced at her, he still didn't believe her. Sima Yue pulled his arm and shook it, and said coquettishly, Father, don't be like this, I promise that I'll call you if I'm in danger next time. I won't put myself in that situation again. I'll believe you once more. Sima Lu Xian poked her forehead with a doting look. Father, let's find a place to sit and talk, I have a lot to say to you. I'll make tea. After Lei finished speaking, she turned and went to Sima Yue's tea room. The forgotten little spirit saw that her excitement had passed, he ran into her arms, picked up Little Purple and threw it out. Yu's arms were his place, other beasts had to step aside. Little Purple was sleeping comfortably and was suddenly thrown out like this. It was very angry when it woke up. It screamed and then pounced on Little Spirit. Little Spirit rolled his eyes, and with a thought, Little Purple was thrown to some corner. He was the most powerful here. So what if Little Purple was famous outside? In the end, he was still flung away by a single thought. After clearing the obstacle, he rubbed against Sima Yue's arms with satisfaction. Sima Yue patted his head and said, Naughty. Now tell me, how long have you been in the ghost realm? What have you experienced? How is your situation? Does Anaheim know that you're here? Sima Lu Xian asked. I don't know. But I've already met Mou and my cousin, and I've also recognized a godfather. That day when I arrived in the ghost realm. Sima Yue told everything that happened after she arrived in the ghost realm. Hearing her experience, Lei was stunned and murmured, Miss, they're right, things really happen wherever you go. Sima Lu Xian was much calmer, he looked at her and asked, what are you going to do next? Chapter 1811. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Reads book web, update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue had already made arrangements for the future. When Sima Lu Xian asked, she replied, cultivate, cultivate, cultivate. My strength is too low now, so I must cultivate first. And I haven't fully controlled the power obtained from the contract with Black Cliff, so I have to familiarize myself with it. Cultivation is indeed the most important thing now. If Anaheim or others discover your identity, at least you have the strength to resist. Sima Lu Xian said. And Godfather's current situation is not good. Since I used the identity of his daughter, I have to bear the responsibility of his daughter and accompany him through this difficult period. When my strength improves, I can go find my cousin and then save my mother. Sima Lu Xian's gaze fluctuated for a moment when he heard about saving her mother, but soon returned to calmness. Don't worry about saving your mother. If she is here, you will also put your own safety first. I know, Father. Sima Yue smiled, knowing that Sima Lu Xian was more anxious than her. She chatted with Sima Lu Xian in the Spirit Pagoda for a long time and left some books about the Ghost Realm for Sima Lu Xian and Lei before going out. If she wants to cultivate, she can't stay in the Spirit Pagoda. It can't provide her with cultivation resources. She removed the enchantment, and Ting Shan and Ting Shui outside immediately noticed. Miss, do you have any orders? No. I need to cultivate. You don't have to guard me. Inform me when Father or Uncle Lin comes back. Sima suddenly paused. Forget it, I will go out first. I will start cultivating when I come back. She left vast city alone and came to the suburbs. She found a place where no one was around, called Little Purple out, and asked, "Why didn't I experience the thunder tribulation last time?" Little Purple tilted its head to the side and ignored her. This woman was Little Spirit's accomplice. She only knew how to bully it. Sima Yue rolled her eyes. This arrogant guy was hurt. It was really troublesome to coax it. After saying a lot of good words and promising a lot of benefits, Little Purple finally stopped giving her the back of its head. But, can you tell me now? Why didn't I experience the thunder tribulation last time? That's all thanks to me. Little Z stared at her. After all, those two people are not familiar with each other. It's not good to let them know your secret. That's why they suppressed you. I've been so good to you, yet you and Little Spirit bullied me. How could I? Isn't that a way to improve your relationship? Sima Yue coaxed, since the lightning tribulation has been suppressed by you, does that mean that I don't have to go through the lightning tribulation? In your dreams, the suppression is only temporary. It won't disappear just because it's suppressed. You still have to experience it yourself. Little Purple gloated. Moreover, the longer you suppress it, the stronger the rebound of the lightning tribulation will be. Now that you've suppressed it for more than half a month, I reckon the lightning tribulation has only doubled. F*CKU. Sima Yue wanted to strangle Little Purple when she saw how proud it was. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I forgot. Little Z licked her claws calmly, and you know, I don't have a grandpa. Sima Yue, she was too lazy to care about this guy. She mobilized the spiritual power in her body, and soon the tribulation clouds gathered above her. Seeing the sky getting darker and darker, a touch of helplessness flashed in her eyes. Every time she advanced, she would be struck by lightning. When would it end? Pa? The lightning fell. Because Little Purple was here, the cloud spirit did not go easy on her. Every lightning bolt hit her solidly. Even if Murong Hui was here, he didn't think that he could take a few. As usual, Little Purple absorbed most of it, and she bore a small part of it to forge her body. Even so, when she finished the lightning tribulation, she could only lie on the ground, and she didn't even have the strength to move. A pair of silver-white boots stopped beside her. Then Emoji's evil face came into her sight. Why are you here? She lay on the ground and had no intention of getting up. Anyway, he had already seen her like this. Her image had long been thrown to Java. The old ancestor said that if he saw someone being struck by lightning, it must be you, an unlucky and miserable person. I didn't believe it before, but now it seems that you are really unlucky. I guess you are the first ghost to be struck by lightning. Emoji smiled at the corner of his mouth. Seeing Sima Yue going through the tribulation thunder and now her dark appearance, he felt a little funny. I'm definitely not the first, but I should be the unlucky one. Sima Yue replied, since you are here, then I won't be polite. Take me out of here. You know how to order me around. Emoji chuckled, not angry at her request. What if I didn't come? If no one comes, there is a plan for no one to come. If someone comes, there is a plan for someone to come. Sima Yue said, if we don't leave now, we will be surrounded by people. Emoji curled his lips, bent down and picked her up, took out the one-time teleportation array, and took her out of the range of the lightning tribulation. The news that the lightning tribulation appeared outside Liao City again spread quickly. If one time was a coincidence, the excuse of 2 times was useless. Everyone was curious about who was going through the tribulation nearby, so they rushed over. But all that was left for them was a messy valley. Because Sima Yue was injured, Emoji did not take her back to the Duke's mansion, but took her to the place where he stayed. He put her on the bed and said, I'll find a maid to apply medicine for you. No need. I'm not used to strangers touching my body. Sima Yue refused. If someone came to do it for her, wouldn't her physique be exposed? Emoji raised his eyebrows as if to say, why did he bring her back? Sima Yue blushed slightly, That was different. But now her whole body was as black as coal, and her blush couldn't be seen. Hee hee, Emoji chuckled. Since you don't want to, then forget it. Take the pill. Sima Yue took his pill and felt the pain in her body lessen a lot. The effect of this pill of yours is really good. How can the Mo clan's pill be bad? Emoji pulled a chair and sat down by the bed. Mo clan? So you are a race. I thought it was a family. Sima Yue said. You don't know? Didn't the old ancestor tell you? No. When we were together, most of the time we discussed tea art, and then he taught me some dark skills. He didn't say much about his identity. The old ancestor actually taught you dark skills? We don't even get this treatment. Emoji said as if he was jealous. He really treats you better than us. He asked you to protect me and you agreed? You don't look like such an obedient person. Emoji's mouth twitched. Did he look like a disobedient person? Actually, the old ancestor promised me a request, so I came to try. Chapter 1812. Remember in a second, love divided by you? Reads books web, updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue was a little curious. What would Mou promise Emoji that he would be willing to approach her? He said that if I came to protect you, the people in the clan would not be able to interfere in my marriage in the future. Emoji said, Pfft. Sima Yue laughed out loud. Do you still think about such things as marriage? Most people don't, but those who are selected as the successors of the Mo clan have to marry the women arranged by the clan. I didn't like this arrangement since I was a child, so as long as I protect you, I don't have to marry you. He said, And what? The old ancestor said that you are an interesting person and will not let me down or be bored. If I find that you are not good after coming here, if you don't want to, you can go back in advance. Emoji said, but the old ancestor knows me very well. You are indeed more interesting than I thought. It's interesting because of your teasing. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. At that time, he clearly knew her identity, but he still teased her like that. If it weren't for her strong heart, she would have been scared to death by him. I just want to see how you will react in this situation. If you panic or ask the old ancestor for help, then I will be very disappointed. As a result, you didn't react at all. Emoji said, if she panicked and asked the old ancestor for help at that time, he might not be here now. Sima Yue didn't want to express her opinion on him teasing her for fun, otherwise, she was afraid that she couldn't help but beat him. By the way, you remember to send someone to the Duke's mansion to say something, otherwise Ting Shan and Ting Shui will be worried. She reminded him. You are quite concerned about Murong Shi's maids. They are very good to me. Let them know, so that they won't worry. But they are worried about Murong Shi, not you. At least, I am the one who is suffering now. Sima Yue said, if they find out that I am not Murong Shi in the future, then I will naturally not treat them well. At least it is good now. Emoji stared at her for a long time. No one knew what he was thinking. Then, without saying a word, he turned around and went out. This guy left just like that? I wonder if he'll go. She muttered and closed her eyes to rest. She recuperated here for 2 days and recovered from her injuries. Emoji was astonished at this speed. Thank you so much. Sima Yue thanked him. Although she wouldn't have been discovered if he hadn't come, she still appreciated his help. It's not sincere to say that. Emoji stared at her with a smile. Sima Yue was startled. Did he want her to thank him? Did he have to be so shameless? The patriarch said that your tea skills are better than his. I wonder if I'll be lucky enough to drink your tea? Sima Yue blinked. That's it? What else do you think? Emoji asked back, the raised corners of his mouth showing his good mood. Ahem, what kind of tea do you want? I prefer green tea. Sima Yue nodded. The two of them went to the pavilion in the courtyard. She took out the tea set and began to boil water to wash the cups. When she was done, the water was also boiling. She began to make tea again. Emoji looked at her smooth movements, elegant and flirtatious. Even just looking at her, he felt that it was a kind of enjoyment. Please. Sima Yue put the teacup in front of him. He picked up the teacup and a fragrance came to his nose. It was very different from the fragrance in the past. He took a sip gently. The fragrance overflowed his lips and teeth, and then spread to his whole body. He seemed to feel comfortable. It's really good tea. No wonder the patriarch likes the tea you make so much. He thought the patriarch was exaggerating before, but he didn't expect it to be so delicious. You are very similar to Mou in many ways, even the way you taste tea is very similar. Sima said, "Are you very liked by him?" Emoji raised his eyebrows. Was it that obvious? But the patriarch is often not in the clan, and I rarely go back these years. The number of times I see him is much less. It's not easy to see him, but he wants me to protect a little girl like you. Thinking about it, I still feel a little stifled. He sighed. You obviously came because of that deal. Don't say it as if you are unwilling. Sima Yue exposed him. You saw through me. A guard walked in from outside. Seeing the two of them drinking tea in the pavilion, the young master was smiling more happily than before. He hesitated to come forward. Emoji noticed him and frowned slightly. If there was nothing urgent, he wouldn't come in. What happened? Young master, the Dong family went to the Duke's mansion and wanted to see Miss Shi. Because the Duke and Miss Shi are not here, they are causing trouble. The guard replied. Emoji asked them to pay attention to the matters of the Duke's mansion, so he came when he heard the news. Sima Yue's hand that was holding the teacup paused. Her aura turned cold as she looked at the guard and said, "The Dong family is causing trouble in the Duke's mansion?" Yes, they injured a lot of the guards of the Duke's mansion. The guard felt that Sima Yue suddenly seemed to have changed into a different person and looked at her with some doubts. They dare to hit the people of my Duke's mansion. The Dong family is really good. I'll go back first. She put the teacup on the table. When she left, the teacup directly cracked. Emoji looked at her back as she left, then looked at the broken teacup, and shook his head slightly. Such a good tea set, what a pity. What else did you not say? Young master, the reason why the Dong family dared to go to the Duke's mansion to cause trouble is because someone from the Prince of Great Yu's mansion came. The guard replied. In that case, the Dong family is very confident. This girl, if she went back like this, wouldn't she be at a disadvantage? Why didn't she ask me for help? He murmured. He later found that Sima Yue was not the kind of person who was used to relying on others. She liked to experience her own things. Even if she knew that it was difficult, she would still go forward. Young master, Murong Hui and the housekeeper are not in the Duke's mansion. If Miss Shi goes back, she will face those people directly. I don't know if it will be dangerous. Shall we go and take a look? This guard has been with Emoji since he was a child, and he knew very well the purpose of him coming to protect Sima Yue this time. Seeing Sima Yue running back alone, he was worried that she couldn't handle it alone. Go, of course, we have to go and see how she is going to deal with these people. Emoji was a little bothered by the fact that he was ignored by Sima Yue in front of her, and he was also worried that she couldn't handle those people. However, we can't go directly, it will make people suspicious. What has Yuan Yen been doing these 2 days? Sima Yue called out Xiao He and rode him back to the Duke's mansion quickly. Before she got close, she heard a loud bang from there. Turning the corner, she saw the Duke's mansion that was missing its gate in the cold wind. Chapter 1813. 1 second to remember. Love divided by you? Reads book web no pop-up window. Free to read. The smoke and dust had yet to disperse. The guards of the Duke Manor saw that the door had been blasted open and stood at the door angrily, not allowing these people to take a step in. The two sides were in a stalemate. Sima Yue looked at the empty door and mourned for 3 seconds for the door of the Duke Manor. Why was this door always the one that was injured? I'll count to 3. If you still don't hand over Murong Shi, I won't just blast this door. A short fat man rode on a huge underworld beast and looked down at the guards of the Duke Manor condescendingly. We've already said that Miss is not in the manor. If you continue to be aggressive, don't blame us for being impolite. Ting Shan stood in front of the guards and looked at the short fat man without fear. Impolite? I'd like to see how impolite you are. The short fat man looked at Ting Shan. You dare to challenge the Duke Manor? Do you want to die? This little girl is not bad. If you're willing to follow me, I'll spare your life. How about it? But, you want me to follow you when you're so short and poor? Why don't you look in the mirror and see what you look like? My miss said that it doesn't matter if you're ugly, but it's not good to scare people. Ting Shan put her hands on her hips and suppressed the short fat man. Ha, the guards of the Duke Manor laughed. They never knew that Ting Shan, who had always looked quiet, would actually scold people. You're courting death. The short fat man was annoyed and took out a long spear to stab her. Ting Shan retreated and easily dodged his attack. The short fat man was even angrier when his attack failed. He shouted at the Dong family, "Capture all the people of the Duke Manor. Today, I'll teach these guys who don't know the rules on behalf of the Duke Manor." Sima Yue saw the Dong family surrounding the people of the Duke Manor and wanted to make a move. She walked over and said, "I'll see who dares. Where did this cat and dog come from? How dare you teach the people of the Duke Manor a lesson?" Or you. It was the first time that the short fatty had seen Sima Yue. He was attracted by her appearance and aura, and his eyes were filled with obscene light. "Puma, didn't you come to find me?" Blackie led her into the encirclement of the Dong family and came to the front of the guards of the Duke Manor. Mississippi Ting Shan was extremely anxious when she saw Sima Yue enter. Didn't she send someone to guard the street? She was afraid that Sima Yue would appear. She did not expect that she would really come back. "You are Murongshi? I didn't expect you to be such a beauty." The short fatty looked at Sima Yue and almost drooled. That undisguised gaze made people feel very uncomfortable. The pile of fat on his face squeezed together, making him look extremely ugly. My Tingshan is right. If you're ugly, don't come out and scare people. It won't be good if you scare the passers-by and make the baby cry. Sima Yue waved her hand in disgust as if she was disgusted by the person standing in front of her. "Murongshi, you still dare to appear. I thought you had already escaped." A woman dressed as a woman stepped forward and pointed at Sima Yue. "Today, I will take your life and avenge my 2 daughters. This old granny, who are you? Why are you acting like a lunatic, biting people whenever you come out? Who are your daughters? Do I know them?" Sima Yue touched her hair and did not even bother to look at her. "Murongshi, stop pretending. My 2 daughters were killed by you." The woman said hatefully. "You said that your daughters were killed by me. Do you have evidence? You actually brought people to my Duke Manor to cause trouble. I'm going to settle this account with you." Sima Yue looked over coldly, making the unprepared woman jump in fright. "You dare to say that Lien and Shuang's deaths have nothing to do with you? You mean Dong Qi Lien and Dong Qi Shuang? Their deaths have nothing to do with me." Sima Yue spread out her hands innocently. We have already received the news. You were at the side when Lien and Shuang died. You have always been at odds with Shuang and even killed my Dong family's guards in Iridescent Cloud's pavilion. Who are you lying to?" the woman accused. Sima Yue guessed that this news should have been spread by the person who left the footprints. However, she did not know what relationship he had with the Dong family for him to come and tell them this news. Dong Qi Lien and Dong Qi Shuang were killed by the underworld Yin Wolves. If you want revenge, go find the underworld Yin Wolves. Coming to my Duke Manor to cause trouble, are you taking advantage of my father's absence? She snorted coldly. Weren't those underworld Yin Wolves ordered by you? If it wasn't for you, why would they attack Lien and Shuang? The woman shouted. "Tsk, old granny, don't think that just because you are old, you can be disrespectful and accuse others." Dong Qi Lien and Dong Qi Shuang were chased by the underworld Yin Wolves because they stole their cubs. When they were being chased, not only did they not return the cubs to the underworld Yin Wolves, but they also killed them. If the underworld Yin Wolves didn't kill them, who would they kill? Sima Yue sneered. "Only you were there at that time. You can say whatever you want. However, I won't believe a single word you say. Now, you will be buried with my daughters." After that, she directly condensed her spiritual power and attacked Sima Yue. The guards around Sima Yue all moved. A few of them went to fight against Dong Qi Shuang's mother, while the others surrounded Sima Yue. Seeing that the other party moved, the Dong family's guards also moved. The Dong family and the Duke Manor's guards fought against each other. Gradually, the guards around Sima Yue were lured away. Go to hell! The woman's vicious eyes locked onto Sima Yue. She took out a long sword and stabbed towards her. Stop! As soon as Yuan Yen came, he saw such a scene. While shouting, he condensed his spiritual power to knock off the woman's sword. But he was too far away from them, and the other party was too close. Seeing that the long sword was about to pierce Sima Yue's body. Space lock. Emoji's cold voice sounded in his ears. It seemed to be angry. Clang. Yuan Yan's spiritual power knocked off the long sword. Sima Yue wanted to move, but found that she was surrounded by space. She didn't expect Emoji to be so skilled in using space lock. It seemed that his attainments in array formation were quite high. Unfortunately, she didn't have the strength to break free from his blockade. Fortunately, he soon lifted the blockade, and she regained her freedom. Before the others had time to say anything, they suddenly felt a gust of wind whistling past. A black shadow flashed, and then, Dong Qishuang's mother, who wanted to attack again, flew out. Everyone was stunned by this move, and both sides of the battle stopped. Xiao He flicked his tail and looked at the Dong family members who were surrounding Sima Yue just now. With a few slaps of his tail, those people were all sent flying. Humph, how dare you hit my courting death. Chapter 1814. 1 second to remember, love divided by you? Reads books web, updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Except for Emoji and Yuan Yen, no one else knew who this black tail that suddenly appeared was. Hei Yen waved his tail and stared at those people. Whoever dared to approach, he would also slap them away. Black dragon? The short fat man and the Dong family were stunned when they saw Hei Yen. They could actually see the legendary black dragon. This is not a dream. You lowly people dare to touch my contractor, how dare you? Hei Yen shouted coldly, scaring those people so much that they didn't dare to make a sound. It's just a black dragon, what's so great about it? In front of the dynasty's army, it's just a beast. The short fat man was angry. Sima Yue was also frightened by the black dragon, and said while raising his orchid fingers. Just an underworld beast? Hei Yen stared at the short fat man, and his 10 feet long body rose from the ground, staring at him condescendingly. A dragon's roar shook everyone's eardrums, and the wind blew the short fat man and the Dong family back dozens of meters. Ong! He roared, and with a swing of his tail, he smashed a Dong family member into a meat patty. Roar! The mount under the short fat man was a little afraid when it saw Hei Yen at first, but in the face of Hei Yen's attack, it actually began to resist. She didn't know what race the beast was. Although its legs were trembling, it could actually resist Hei Yen's attack. My mount is a black Pishio, it doesn't lose to you. The short fat man said proudly. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes slightly. This person actually had a black Pishio, indicating that his status in the dynasty was not low. However, even so, he couldn't bully the people of the Duke Mansion. Murong Shi, you'd better come with us obediently. In this way, we cannot implicate the people of the Duke Mansion in the matter of you instigating the underworld Een Wolf to kill the Dong sisters. The short fat man looked at Sima Yue lecherously, seeing her hot body. His little brother couldn't control himself. With your little Pishio? Sima Yue looked contemptuously at the beast that was as ugly as its owner. Although you have a black dragon, my Pishio is a mature beast. Although your black dragon is higher in grade, after all, it is still a baby that hasn't grown up. Ha! The short fat man laughed, feeling arrogant. By the way, if you touch me, the dynasty's army will destroy your Duke Mansion tomorrow. So, you'd better be obedient and don't resist. Sima Yu turned her head and glanced at Emoji without a trace. Seeing him nodding at her, she turned back and smiled at the short fatty. The short fat man's saliva, which he had been holding back for a long time, finally flowed out. Disgusting. Ting Shan frowned in disgust and stepped forward to stand in front of Sima Yu, blocking his wretched gaze. You. Don't worry, I'll bring you along. I will take good care of you, the short fat man said with a smile. Fat man, put away your disgusting eyes, or I will dig them out for you. Ting Shui also rushed to the front and said, Another beautiful girl. Rongshi, not only are you good-looking, but the maids around you are also so beautiful. It's really a bargain for men. The short fat man looked at the three beautiful people and felt that his eyes couldn't take it anymore. Sima Yue pulled the two irritable people behind her and said, Why are you so calculative with a person who is about to die? Miss? Ting Shan and Ting Shui looked at Sima Yue, touched. She was using her body to protect them. This kind of miss was much better than before. Sima Yue saw the look in their eyes and the corners of her mouth twitched. She was too embarrassed to say that she was doing this in order to attack the short fat man. Sir Envoy, you said that you would hand Sima Yue over to us. Dong Qilian's mother heard him say this and cried out. If the short fat man wanted to protect Sima Yue's life, then could she still kill her? Are you questioning my decision? The short fat man looked at Dong Qilian's mother and his voice became cold. It was obvious that he was angry. He was only patient with beauties. As for others, he was not in such a good mood. Sir Envoy, how could that be? We will listen to you. Dong Qilian's father pulled his wife and smiled at the short fat man. This envoy has never liked people questioning my words. This time, I will let it go for concubine Dong's face. Don't do it again. Do you understand? The short fat man reprimanded. Yes, we understand. Dong Qilian's father pulled her mother to the back. Her mother was still a little unwilling, but she was appeased by her father's words. With Sir Envoy's temper, if you bring Murongshi over, her fate will not be better than being killed directly. That's right. I heard that this Sir Envoy has a heavy taste. The women he fancied were tortured miserably. If Murongshi is caught, it is still unknown what will happen to her. Thinking of this, her mood became better. Sir Envoy, this Murongshi is also the daughter of the Duke. If you want to take her away, the Duke will not agree. If he comes back and knows about this, I am afraid that he will make a fuss in the Duke's mansion. Yuan Yen was a little afraid of this short fat man, but he still spoke out. Young Master Yuan, it's better for you not to intervene in this matter. The short fat man looked at Yuan Yen and threatened, Otherwise, if the Yuan family loses a young master, wouldn't it benefit others for nothing? The Yuan family would not offend a Sir Envoy for him, Yuan Yen. What is this Sir Envoy? Sima Yue asked. Miss, the Sir Envoy is a person around Wang Ye and can exercise some of Wang Ye's rights. His status is higher than that of the Duke. Ting Shan dispelled her doubts. Sima Yue showed a shocked expression on her face and asked, Such a person can also be the Sir Envoy? Isn't this position particularly easy to be in? Why don't we give it a try and see if we can get the position of Sir Envoy? Generally, only Wang Ye's relatives can be the Sir Envoy. Ting Shan said. In fact, the power of this position is not particularly great, but the reason why the Sir Envoy can have such a high status is because of their relationship with Wang Ye. No wonder a person like him can have a mythological beast like Pai Xiao as a mount. Sima Yue nodded and said, However, daring to have ideas about me, this is still intolerable. That ugly appearance really makes me unable to bear it for a minute. I'm going to slap him into meat paste. Hei Yen said. Don't worry. Sima Yue stopped him. Let's deal with that guy who is as ugly as its owner first. The existence of Pai Xiao will cause trouble for Xiao Hei. Although Xiao Hei may not necessarily lose if they really fight, it is wise to take a shortcut. She squatted down, touched Xiao Hei's head, and asked, Xiao Hei, can you deal with it? Chapter 1815. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Read books web, updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Everyone looked at her, thinking that she was scared silly by the short fatty. A dog, you asked if it could deal with the mythological beast Pai Xiao? Either there was something wrong with their ears, or there was something wrong with her brain. Sima Yue ignored the various eyes and continued to stroke Little Black. Woof woof woof, Little Black barked at her twice, and then, before everyone could react, a black shadow flashed by, followed by the sharp cry of the Pai Xiu and the scream of the short fatty being thrown to the ground. Roar! The Pai Xiu ran around in the crowd, trampling several Dong family guards to death, and even Dong Qilian's mother was almost trampled to death. Blood sprayed from its neck and sprinkled all over the street. Lord Envoy! Dong Qilian's father was stunned when he saw the short fatty fall to the ground. He hurriedly ran over to help him up and pulled him to the side of the street, avoiding the huge body of the Pai Xiu. If the short fatty was not pulled away, he would have been trampled into meat paste. Roar, roar! The blood in its body was rapidly draining, and its vitality was also rapidly draining. It forgot that it could speak, and just roared like a beast. Boom! When its vitality was exhausted, it fell heavily on the street. The earth trembled. Bow! The short fatty saw his mount fall lifelessly and screamed heartbreakingly. Sima Yue felt goosebumps rise when she heard this name. Does this person have to be so disgusting? Not to mention that he kept raising his orchid fingers, he also gave such an ugly beast such a name. I'm going to kill you. The short fatty was heartbroken. He broke away from the people around him and flew towards Sima Yue. Be careful. In a hurry, Yuan Yen forgot his identity, forgot the interests of his family, and stood in front of Sima Yue, ready to block this blow for her. Pa! The long black tail swayed in front of everyone, and they saw the short fatty being slapped to the ground, smashing a pit. Pa! Black lava swung its tail again and smashed the short fatty into a meat patty. I said I'll turn you into a meat patty, so I'll turn you into a meat patty. You want to steal my See if I can't kill you. As it spoke, it didn't stop slapping its tail. The short fatty was beaten to death by it. Lord Envoy. Murong Shi, you actually killed Lord Envoy. Dong Qilian's father took a long time to regain his senses as he pointed at Sima Yue and shouted. Yuan Yen was also frightened, looking at the corpse of the short fat man on the ground. He couldn't recover for a long time. Not only him, but the guards of the Dong family and the commandery prince's mansion were also confused. Only Emoji looked at the corpse without feeling anything. Wasn't it just the death of an envoy? What was the big deal? It was said that Deja went to see Wang Ye before leaving the Great Yu dynasty. They must have had a secret conversation. An envoy was not worth a single hair of Sima Yue. Sima Yue saw them so frightened, she shrugged and said, "Isn't it just an envoy? How dare he have ideas about me? How can my beasts let him go? In this world, not everyone can afford to provoke him. Not everyone can afford to provoke him. Just wait for the revenge from the prince's mansion." The Dong family saw that things had exceeded their expectations, and today, they didn't care about Sima Yue's life, and hurriedly fled back with the Dong family. When everyone had dispersed, the guards of the commandery prince's mansion regained their senses. They looked at Sima Yue with horror and admiration, but also some worry. "Miss, what about this person's body?" Sima Yue glanced at the pile of flesh and blood. If it wasn't for the human-shaped pit when it hit the ground at the beginning, she wouldn't have been able to tell that it was a person. She subconsciously wanted to burn the corpse with a flame, but found that she couldn't do it now. She withdrew her hand awkwardly and said to the captain of the guards, "Just burn it. By the way, clean up the blood on the street." "Yes, Mississippi." She turned around and saw the empty gate. "Also, change it to a sturdy gate. It's shameful that the gate of the commandery prince's mansion is always destroyed." Every time, the gate of the commandery prince's mansion was hurt the most. As the gatekeepers, they also felt very uncomfortable. Also, send someone to inform father about this matter and let him be mentally prepared. If Wang Ye really blames us, it will be easy to deal with. You don't have to care about the rumors in the city, but send someone out to pay attention to the movements in the prince's mansion. By the way, investigate the background of this short fat man. If he can have a Pichio as a contract beast, his identity should not be bad. It should be easier to investigate. Yes, Mississippi. The guards took the order and went down, and soon the commandery prince's mansion returned to its former order. Yuan Yen and Emoji watched her methodically instruct things. Where did it look like she had just experienced a major event? "You killed an envoy anyway, do you have to be so calm?" Yuan Yen sighed. Sima Yue glanced at him and said to the two, "I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you for today's matter. But as you can see, the Commandery Prince's mansion still has a lot of things to do, so I won't entertain you. I'll visit you later to thank you." "Actually, you don't have to send someone to investigate him. We all know about him," Yuan Yen said. Sima Yue thought for a while and said, "Then come in with me." Ting Shan and Ting Shui followed them in and served them tea and water while they were chatting. These two people were willing to step forward at this time, indicating that they were still good people. Emoji glanced at the tea they served and didn't bang. Sima Yue asked Ting Shui to put away the tea and personally made a pot of tea for the two of them. "It takes time to make tea. Let's talk about that short fat man." Yuan Yen was attracted by her action of making tea, and he didn't recover until she spoke. "Oh, that envoy, he is the princess's younger brother, Wang Ye's brother-in-law. It is said that the princess loves this little brother the most. If you kill him now, I'm afraid that the princess will not let you go." Yuan Yen looked at her with some worry. The princess has a strong personality, and Wang Ye sometimes has to give in. "Does the princess have a son?" "Yes. The eldest prince and the seventh prince were both born by her." "Then it seems a little tricky." She estimated the tricky level of this matter in her heart and found that it was not a little tricky, but quite tricky. "If it's an ordinary person, I may be able to let the family come forward to mediate, but the relationship between the princess and the Yuan family is not very good. I'm afraid it will be difficult for me to persuade the family to come forward." Yuan Yen said, "It doesn't matter. I'm very grateful for your kindness." Sima Yue said, "I'm actually fine, but I'm afraid that I will implicate my father. Otherwise, I will be alone. Where can't I go?" Emoji watched the two of them talking back and forth. He didn't expect him to be here at all. At this time, another guard came in from the outside, and his hurried steps showed that something important had happened. Chapter 1816. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Reads Booknet. Update quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue looked at the guard who ran over and said, "What's the matter?" "Miss, someone sent this." The guard took out a box and handed it to Sima Yue. "For me?" Sima Yue took the box and remembered that the unknown box she received last time was the spirit-gathering stone given by Emoji, so she glanced at him subconsciously. "Yes, he said that he wants Miss to open this personally." The guard said, "He said that you will know what is inside when you open it." Sima Yue's doubts increased sharply. Did she know such a person? The box in her hands seemed to have become a little hot. Emoji saw her doubts and said, "Open it and you will know what it is." Sima Yue nodded, took a deep breath, and then opened the box. The box looked very ordinary from the outside, the size of a palm, but after opening it, she felt that there was another universe inside. Pocket Universe Box. Emoji saw the origin of this box at a glance, and then frowned. "What's inside?" Yuan Yen asked. Sima Yue glanced at the box, shook her head, and turned the box to the opposite side. "Empty?" Yuan Yen looked at Emoji, who also had a puzzled look. "Why would someone send you an empty box?" Emoji took the box and looked at it carefully. He did not find anything in it, and returned it to Sima Yue. When Sima Yue took the box, she suddenly saw the flower on the lid of the box, and her whole person was stunned. "This pattern." Yuan Yen and Emoji saw her like this, and looked at the pattern on the lid of the box again. "What's wrong with this pattern? Have you seen it before?" Sima Yue touched the pattern on the box, which was a coquettish flower. Unlike the devil's snare flower that Emoji liked, this flower gave people a more charming feeling. Looking at the flower, a picture appeared in my mind, as if I was standing in a sea of flowers like this. It seems that I have seen this flower before," she said, "but I'm sure I haven't seen this flower before. Do you know what flower this is? Are you sure the picture you think of is in this flower bush?" Emoji asked. "I'm sure." Sima Yue said, "Do you know what this is?" "This is the legendary hellflower." Emoji said, "That's why I said it's a flower pattern, but I've never seen a real flower." "Hellflower? Isn't it a devil's snare flower?" Devil's snare flower is a flower, a flower. As for this flower, it was said that it could only be found in the depths of hell. But this is just a legend, no one has really seen it.
Emoji said,
In that case, how did she meet him? Yuan Yen asked. Sima you didn't understand either. She rubbed her forehead and said, Before I woke up, I felt like I was in a daze for a period of time. I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. Let me show you. Emoji looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue hesitated for a while and stretched out her left hand. Emoji grabbed her hand and let his spiritual awareness slowly penetrate her body and into her spiritual awareness. After a while, he withdrew and said, It's not that you're confused, but that you have a memory that's been sealed. Sealed? Sima Yue looked at Emoji in surprise. Are you sure? Emoji nodded, but the seal is not strong, so you can occasionally remember some fragments. This may be related to the hellflower. Could it be that I've seen that flower, and then someone sealed that memory? Sima Yue said, If that's the case, why did he give me this box to remind me of something? I guess only you know. Sima Yue sighed. If I knew, would I still ask? What does it mean to send this over at this time? I remember seeing something about the hellflower before. Yuan Yen said, I remember that I seemed to have it with me. With that, he took out a pile of books, at least hundreds of them. I remember which book it is in here. We can look for it. Yuan Yen looked at the two. Look for it in so many books? Sima Yue's mouth twitched. You can think about it carefully. What book did you see it in? Emoji looked at the pile of books, took one out of the middle, and threw it in front of Yuan Yen. It seems to be this one. Yuan Yen opened the book, found the page, and handed it to Sima Yue. Sima Yue looked at the front first and found that this was a book recording this legend. The page that Yuan Yen gave her had very few words, and it was accompanied by a hell flower. Legend has it that this kind of flower blooms in the depths of hell, and it is the representative of the underworld god. No one has ever seen a real flower, but it really exists. The underworld god is not a legend, he really exists. There is no detailed description at all in such a short book. Sima Yue returned the book to Yuan Yen after reading it. If it's according to the book, then didn't I see the underworld god? By the way, is there such an existence as the underworld god in the ghost realm? The underworld god statement is too exaggerated, but I think there is a person or race behind this that we don't know.
Emoji said,
Don't you Emo clan know? Yuan Yen asked. Emoji shook his head, he had only seen it in this book. Could it be the one in Jiuyu Mountain? Sima Yue asked. Jiuyu God clan? No, it's not them. Their appearances are accompanied by Black Lotus, not Hellflower. Emoji said, If I really want to say it, the Black Lotus represents the heaven of the ghost realm, and the Hellflower represents hell. Isn't it a legend? The Jiuyu clan exists. Does it mean that this hellflower also really exists? Sima Yue asked. I might have thought it was a legend before, but now. Emoji raised his eyebrows, and his eyes fell on the Pocket Universe box. The meaning was self-evident. The Jiuyu clan is also a legend. How can you be sure that he exists? Yuan Yen asked. How can you be sure? Of course, it's because she is one of them. The Jiuyu clan does exist, but they have appeared less in recent years, so they are known less.
Emoji said,
Alas, at this time, it really feels weird to send me such an inexplicable box. Sima Yue looked at the box over and over for a while, but she couldn't find anything, so she closed the box and put it on the table. Emoji saw that she was puzzled and pouted. Why don't you think about it again? Since the other party said that you will understand when you see the box, maybe there is really some deep meaning. Chapter 1817. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Reads book web, update quickly, no pop-up window, read for free. Sima Yue picked up the Pocket Universe box and looked at it for a while, but she still didn't see anything and finally had to give up. Thinking about it, there is only the picture of me standing in the hellflower bush. Forget it, I will know when it's time to know. She really couldn't think of anything else, so she was too lazy to think about it and put the box away. You are really open-minded, Yuan Yen said when he saw her stop like this. The other party just sent this thing, indicating that there is no malice for the time being. Just like someone back then. Sima Yue said. Someone? Yuan Yen looked at her doubtfully. A friend of mine also sent a box over at the beginning, which scared my uncle butler. Sima Yue said. Maybe this is the same. Emoji smiled, and the two looked at each other. Only each other understood the look in their eyes. Yuan Yen looked at the interaction between the two, his eyes flashed slightly, he lowered his head to drink tea, thinking of the previous matter, he looked up at Emoji and said, By the way, Fiji, can you handle the matter of the envoy? With the deterrent power of the Mo clan, how can the princess give you face? If you take action, they should not dare to resist. Yuan Yen said. You finally remembered me. Emoji chuckled. I saw that you were so brave just now, I thought you had thought about everything. It's not like you don't know my situation. Yuan Yen sighed. He tightened his grip on the teacup, and this time when he goes back, he must take the position of the young master of the family. Definitely. Since you said so, I can only say that there will be no problem for the time being. However, I can't guarantee the situation later. Emoji said. I see. Sima Yue understood what he meant. He said that he would suppress this matter for the time being, but he would not completely solve this matter for her. If he meets the people of the Wangfu in the future, or goes to the Wangfu, he will not guarantee what will happen. Moreover, doing this is also for her own good. Leaving an unsolved enemy can give her more motivation to move forward. Her strength is still low now, and when her strength grows, she can naturally solve these problems by herself. Then let's set off tomorrow. Yuan Yen said, the earlier we go, the earlier we can solve this matter. Otherwise, once they get the news, they might send someone over. Is 10 years enough? Sima Yue did not react at first, but she soon understood that he was giving her 10 years to grow up. Enough. She didn't think it was necessary, but she didn't want to be too sure. Then we'll see you then. Emoji said, I believe it shouldn't take long. You want to stay in the prince's mansion? No, but when you go to the palace, I should be there. All right. See you then. Sima Yue guessed that they would be paying attention to her situation. When she went to the prince's mansion, he would know the news. Emoji and Yuan Yen didn't have much nostalgia when they left. Yuan Yan's matter here had been solved. He needed to go back and report, and take Emoji to deal with the affairs of the Wangfu. So after the two went back, they packed up and left with their people. Sima Yue sent them away. The efficiency of the guards of the Junwang mansion was still very high, and the door that was blown away was hit again. She just didn't know how long this door could last. She returned to her courtyard, and Ting Shan and Ting Shui immediately greeted her. The two knelt in front of her with a bang and kowtowed heavily. Miss. Sima Yue was startled by the two of them. She looked at them and asked, Are you too stimulated by today's incident? Are you scared silly? Miss. Ting Shan and Ting Shui's lives were saved by Mississippi. In the future, if Miss wants us to climb a mountain of swords or go into a sea of fire, we will definitely not frown. Ting Shui said with a smile. You don't have to be so exaggerated, right? How can I save you? Sima Yue went up to help the two of them. Okay, get up quickly, otherwise others will think that I did something to you too. Ting Shan and Ting Shui got up with her strength. Today's incident, if it weren't for Miss, we would have been taken away by that short fat man. If that's the case, we will definitely not obey. Didn't you save our lives? Well, it's not bad if you think so. In that case, guard the door well today. Sima Yue laughed. Remember that when I'm in seclusion, no one can come in, do you understand? We know. What if Master comes back? Since it's Father, it's another matter. Alas, I think Father will probably rush back when he hears the news. I don't know if the matter at the mineral vein has been solved. Sima Yue sighed, feeling that she seemed to have caused a lot of trouble for Murong Hui. If Father comes back, tell me. If someone is looking for trouble, tell me. In addition, send someone to pay attention to the Dong family's situation. Yes, Mississippi. Sima Yue entered her room, but did not start training. Instead, she took out the pocket universe box and looked at it. But no matter how she looked and thought, there was only that picture in her mind. Yu, did I get into trouble? Hei Yen raised its head from her hand and looked at her with self-reproach. It was not as domineering as before. It's okay. Sima Yue poked its head with her index finger. You are very domineering when you protect me. I like it. Really? Hei Yen was happy, its little tail wagging. Really? Go play with Little Black, I'm going to cultivate. Sima Yue looked at Little Black who was playing alone in the corner and said. But Hei Yen went down from her body and wrapped around Little Black. The two of them almost merged into one. Little Black only called twice symbolically for Hei Yan's arrival and then went to play with its toys. Sima Yue smiled and went to the bed to prepare to cultivate. However, after she entered a meditative state, she did not cultivate like before. A sea of red flowers appeared in her mind. You can actually come here. A voice sounded behind her. She turned around and saw a faint figure. Who are you? Sima Yue asked. The figure approached her and sniffed her body, saying, Chaos Chi. You have been to the Chaos World before. No wonder you can come here. Chaos World? Sima Yue remembered that when she was in school, she went to a place and was brought out by Emosha. She never went to that place again and did not come in contact with it. She did not expect that after so long, it would still affect her. Looking at the figure in front of her, she asked again, Who are you? Where is this place? The figure walked around her and said faintly, Welcome to the underworld. I am the king of the underworld, Hades. Chapter 1818. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Reads book, webquick update, no pop-up window, free to read. Welcome to the underworld, I am the king of the underworld, Hades. The scene paused here, and then she woke up. Doubt flashed through her clear eyes. The underworld, the king of the underworld, does it really exist? Why do I have memories of this? Wasn't the first place I appeared in after arriving at the ghost realm the cliff? If all of this was true, then it meant that before she left that place, her memories were sealed by the other party. Since he had already done so, why did he use things to stimulate her memories? How about we make a bet? A voice sounded in her mind. The voice was very soft, as if it came from the distant past. And it was fleeting, she didn't catch anything. How could this be? She murmured. The doubts in her heart did not diminish. Miss, not good. Ting Shui shouted as she ran in from outside the courtyard. Sima Yue rubbed her eyebrows, got out of bed and walked out. What's wrong? What happened? Why are you panicking? Ting Shui patted her chest and said with a frightened face, The Dong family has been destroyed. What? Ting Shan shouted from the side, How could the Dong family be destroyed? Sima Yue was also very surprised. This matter had only happened for half a day. The Duke's manor didn't send anyone to deal with the Dong family. How could it be destroyed? Do you know who did it? She asked. I don't know. After today's matter, many people were looking at the Dong family, but no one saw the person who did it. Ting Shui was shocked when she heard the news. No one saw the person who did it? How is that possible? Ting Shan didn't believe it. With such a big movement, how could they not see the murderer? It's true. Everyone is saying that they only saw a black shadow surrounding someone. And after the black shadow dispersed, only a pool of blood was left. Ting Shui widened her eyes, as if she had seen it with her own eyes. When Sima Yue heard this, she subconsciously glanced at Little Black. Why was this so similar to the scene when she first saw it? However, this fellow had been here with him all this time, so it shouldn't be the one who did it. Besides, this guy was still sealed, so it couldn't use its spiritual power at all. The last 2 times it killed people, it relied on its speed and teeth, so it shouldn't be him. Are there any other characteristics? Ting Shan asked. Oh, I heard from the people present that the black fog gave people a very frightening feeling, as if it was different from the aura of ordinary people. Ting Shui said. To be able to turn into black mist, he's definitely not from Ghost's realm. Could it be someone from the Soul Society? Ting Shan asked curiously. That's also possible. But wasn't it too much of a coincidence to destroy the Dong family at this time? It felt like he was taking revenge for what happened today. Everyone outside is saying that it was us who sent them out. Won't that bring us trouble? This was what they said at the beginning. Later, some people said that people with this kind of strength shouldn't be in the Duke's mansion. They guessed that someone else might be helping Mississippi. After all, Miss used to be a waste, but now she has the black dragon and the mutated dog. Maybe she had a fortuitous encounter. So everyone is very afraid of Miss now. Ting Shui repeated the words of those people, and looked at Sima Yue with admiration. Young Miss, is what they said true, ah? Did you have a fortuitous encounter? Sima Yue pushed her head away and said, What fortuitous encounter? I made a contract with Hei Yen when I was in Moon Creek Valley. Ting Shan pulled Ting Shui and asked her to stop talking nonsense. At the same time she asked, Miss, how should we deal with the Dong family? What needs to be dealt with? We didn't do this, so don't worry about him. Sima Yue said, but you still have to pay more attention to the situation in the city. If there are any changes, report it. Go! Sima Yue waved her hand, and the two of them bowed and left. She stood alone in the courtyard, looking at the gray sky, and muttered, Did you do it? The only answer she got was the sound of the wind. At the same time, somewhere outside the city, a cloud of black fog slowly condensed and formed into the appearance of a man. The man waved his hand and the space was torn apart by him, but he didn't go in. King, the Dong family has been dealt with. The things have also been sent to her. The man said. Does she remember? A clear voice came from that space. She should have remembered some things. But she still hasn't broken the seal and hasn't remembered everything. The man replied. Huan, who do you think will win this bet? King, you made a bet with Yue. If she can break the seal and remember us in 10 years, you won't interfere with her life and won't let her stay in the underworld. I think she will remember. Huan said. You think this king will lose? I just know that her desire to stay in the ghost realm is very strong. Even if she temporarily forgets us, she still wants to win subconsciously. Otherwise, she wouldn't have remembered something just by seeing the pocket Cosmos box. Huan said his thoughts, and King, you don't plan to win against her, do you? You little brat, who told you to guess my thoughts? Hades was not angry and then sighed. No one has been to the ghost realm for a long time, and it's not easy to find someone who suits my taste. Huan lowered his head. He could understand Hades' feelings, and he could also see that he liked Sima Yue very much. It was not the love between men and women, but the kind of love that has existed in the darkness for a long time and has encountered a glimmer of light. Because he had been in the darkness for too long, he was willing to spend effort to keep this warmth. King, the man she mentioned has also come to the ghost realm. Huan said, Should we pay attention to the situation over there? Her man. Hades' voice was very soft, and there was no anger in it. After a moment of silence, he told the people, Since he is her man, he must have some ability. You go and test him, but don't kill him. Another voice came from inside. The ghost realm wants him to live, and no one else can take his life. Do you remember? Huan said to the people inside. Yes, Lord Underworld Envoy. The people inside took the order and left. Huan, you are too good to him. Hades was unhappy. Huan smiled. King, I'm just saying what you didn't say. If something happens to him, she will be sad. I spared his life because he was willing to give up his body and come to the ghost realm for her. Hades snorted coldly. Otherwise, then do you want to tell her this news? Huan asked with a smile. Don't tell her before the two of them meet. Not only don't tell her, but also set up some obstacles for them. I'll leave this matter to you. Hades was like a child. I want to see if they are, as she said, destined. Chapter 18-19. Remember in 1 second, love divided by you? Read books web, updated quickly, no pop-up window, free to read. Sima Yue didn't know about the things outside the city, but she guessed that the Dong family's affairs should have something to do with the underworld. However, this was not a bad thing. At least for the time being, no one dared to trouble her again. Murong Hui didn't have to worry about this matter for the time being. He could devote himself to the mineral veins and the city competition. And she could also cultivate quietly and strive to make herself strong enough as soon as possible. 2 days later, Murong Hui returned and went directly to Sima Yoyue's courtyard. Ting Shan hurriedly called Sima Yue out. Sima Yue came out and saw his haggard figure. She said, "Father, you're back? How's the mineral veins?" "Things over there have been settled. A class equals __CF email __ ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection datic female equals 74A9FB34BFC1 email protected. I've heard about the Dong family. You don't have to worry about it. I'll deal with the rest." He was not talking about the Dong family itself, but some forces and things involved. "Father, the Dong family's affairs are almost settled. You don't have to worry. Have a good rest first." Sima Yue said. "It's settled?" "Yes. The efficiency of the guards in the residence is very high. In addition to the extermination of the Dong clan, the other clans are a little afraid of us, so the matter was resolved quickly." Sima Yu said, "If you don't believe me, you can call Guard Zhang over and ask him. Is it really okay?" Murong Hui didn't believe it. He wasn't sure that he could handle such a big matter in such a short time, but she had already dealt with it. "It's really okay. Look at how tired you are. How can I let you worry about it?" Sima Yue held his hand and led him out of the courtyard. She called the guard commander to the main hall and asked him to explain the current situation. Zhang Ming was now convinced by Sima Yue. When the incident first happened, they protected her from Murong Hui. Later, she gave orders one by one, and soon took over the power of the Dong family. At the same time, she also moved the public opinion in the city. Now, the people in the city were very obedient to the royal prince's manner. He told her everything that had happened in the past few days. His words were filled with admiration for Sima Yue. Seeing that there was really nothing wrong, Murong Hui waved his hand to let Zhang Ming go down, and looked at Sima Yue with complicated eyes. If the princess knew that she had such a capable daughter, she would definitely be very happy, he praised. "I think so too," Sima Yue said with a smile. "However, we still haven't found the force that destroyed the Dong family. We still have to continue investigating this force that suddenly appeared." A class equals __CF email __ ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection datic female equals CF12408F047 email protected. However, according to what you said, the other party is just a cloud of black fog. No one has seen it again after the Dong family was destroyed. I'm afraid it won't be easy to investigate. "Father, don't worry about this matter for the time being." Sima Yue stopped him. "Do you know who did it?" Murong Hui asked. "Although I'm not sure, I probably guessed it." Sima Yue said, "The other party may not want us to investigate him. As long as there is no threat to us, don't pursue the matter anymore." Murong Hui saw her hesitant look. "Is the other party difficult to deal with?" "It's hard to say. I'm not completely sure. Since the other party deliberately concealed it, it means that they don't want us to know. Why should we get to the bottom of it? Maybe it will cause some trouble at that time. What you said is true. In that case, I won't care about this for the time being." Murong Hui agreed to her request. "Thank you, Father." Sima Yue knew that he still had doubts in his heart. An unknown force appeared in his place. Whether it was public or private, he should have a clear grasp of it. But because of her, he chose to give up. "It's good that you're fine. A class equals __CF email __ ref equals /CDNCGI/L/email protection datic female equals 64B9EB24AFD1 email protected. However, although I won't investigate this matter, I must pay attention to it." "Well, I understand." Sima Yue nodded. "After the Xiao family and this matter, I think we can be quiet for a while. In the next few days, I want to cultivate in seclusion and improve my strength as soon as possible." "Good. It's good that you think so. There's nothing for you to worry about now. You just need to cultivate well. Murong Hui agreed with her approach. After all, her identity was special. Although she had the identity of once she was discovered, the consequences could still be serious. If she cultivated in seclusion, then she would have less time to appear outside, and it would naturally be safer. Sima Yue then asked about the mineral veins. After the two chatted for a while, she went back. Before leaving, she repeatedly told him to have a good rest. After she left, a class equals __cf email _ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection datic female equals 568BD91690F5. Email protected, leaned back in his chair tiredly. Because he hadn't rested for a long time, he already had heavy dark circles under his eyes. Murong Lin came in from the outside and gave Mu the situation he had inquired about in the city. A class equals __cf email _ref equals /cdncgi/l/email protection datic female equals EF3260AF245. Email protected. It was almost the same as what Zhang Ming said. Master, I didn't expect that she could deal with this matter so simply and neatly, maintaining the prestige of the Duke Manor in front of everyone, and at the same time dealing with the following matters very well. If I didn't know that she was less than 100 years old, I would have thought that this was done by someone who had lived for hundreds or even thousands of years. Murong Lin praised. The princess has given birth to a good daughter. Murong Hui sighed. However, the more she knows, the more experience she has in the human world. She should have suffered a lot in the past. It's hard for this child. That's right. Murong Lin also sighed. Master, do you still want to investigate the Dong family's affairs? Not for the time being. Murong Hui explained the meaning of Sima Yue. I think she may know who the other party is, but she doesn't want us to get involved, so she won't let us continue to investigate. But I heard that the person who destroyed the Dong family is very mysterious. If we don't find out who it is, will it hurt Miss? I think it's precisely because the other party is too mysterious, so she doesn't want us to investigate. Murong Hui still had some understanding of Sima Yue. After the other party bullied her in the Dong family, they went to destroy the Dong family. I think the other party is protecting her. It can even be said that no one is allowed to let her be wronged. Is it them? Murong Lin felt that this was a bit unrealistic. General D and Lord Mo have both left, and Miss asked them not to follow her. It shouldn't be. Murong Hui had a headache thinking of this. Isn't it said that the other party is just a cloud of black fog? So I guess it may not be the people of Ghost Realm. This matter will be done according to what she said, but let people pay attention to the surrounding situation and inform me immediately if there is any change. Yes, Master. Murong Lin responded and retreated. Sima Yue returned to her yard and felt that the atmosphere around her was a bit wrong. When she returned to the house, she saw Xiao He standing in the middle of the room, staring at the air somewhere with full attention. Chapter 1820. Sima Yue looked around. There was no one around and she could not sense anyone in the space. Little Black, is anyone here? She walked over and patted its head. Little Black relaxed the moment she touched it. It barked at her twice, and its aura was different from before. Do you sense someone? Sima Yue squatted down and rubbed the fur on its neck. Maybe there was a guest just now, but it's gone now. Go and play. Little Black barked at her and ran out by itself. She looked at the place where Little Black was staring at and narrowed her eyes slightly. Then she did nothing and closed the door. She set up a barrier and went to cultivate. Huan was invisible in the space. When he saw her enter the cultivation state, he condensed a chair and sat down. He crossed his legs and murmured, "You're still so sharp. But where did this little black dog come from? It clearly doesn't have any spiritual energy, but I can feel a majestic power from it. This power should be sealed, right?" After saying that, he paused. He wanted to reach out and poke the barrier protecting her, but he stopped when he was about to touch it. "If I poke you, you'll find me. Sai Yu, when will you remember us?" I'm looking forward to your bet with the king. In the next few months, she had been cultivating in seclusion in the house. Except for occasionally going out to meet Murong Hui, she spent the rest of her time in her own yard. Most of the time, she practiced the soul-refining art. The rest of the time, she read books to expand her knowledge of the ghost realm. Otherwise, she would practice alchemy and refining tools to prevent herself from being out of practice. During this period of time, the only reason she went out was to find a place to undergo the lightning tribulation. At this time, the people of Vast City were used to the lightning tribulations. Although there were still people who went to watch every time, they didn't see anyone going through the tribulation. Over time, various versions of the legend began to circulate. However, none of them involved Sima Yuyu. This kind of life continued until the second year of the city competition, when she finally appeared in front of everyone. However, that was only during the city competition. Once the competition was over, she would go into seclusion again, all the way until just before the region competition. In the past year or so, her strength had improved by leaps and bounds, and the strength of Vast Region had also greatly increased because of the discovery of the mineral vein. However, compared to the other prefectures, it was still lacking. The affairs of the Dong family and the Xiao family were still the topic of people's after-dinner conversations. The reputation of Murong Hui and Sima Yue spread out of Vast Region and spread to King City. However, it was only the annihilation of two families, so it didn't cause too much of a stir. Only a few people who were paying attention would think about it from time to time. You said that Murong Hui brought Murong Shi with him? Her alluring fingers were holding a black rose. She used a pair of scissors to cut off the branches and then placed the flower into the vase. Her movements were so graceful, and she looked so noble. The flower in her hand didn't seem to be the flower that made her beautiful, but she added color to it. However, her tone of voice was not as gentle as her actions, and it carried a faint killing intent. Yes, Your Highness. They have already left. The man kneeling on the ground lowered his head, not daring to look at her. The Mo clan told me not to go to Liao City to find her trouble within 10 years. I didn't expect that in just 2 years, she would walk into the trap. In that case, how can I let such a good opportunity go to waste? The princess slashed down, as if she was not cutting a flower branch, but an enemy. At the same time, in another part of Great U City, a handsome man walked into a small garden. As soon as he entered, he saw Xiao Ruobai sitting by the pond in a daze. You are in a daze again. The man walked over and stood beside her, looking at the reflection of the two people in the water. Seventh Prince, you are here. What's the matter? Xiao Ruobai nodded faintly, greeting him. Since she was rescued to his house, he would come to her from time to time. At first, she ignored him and was indifferent to him. If he hadn't involved the Xiao family in the beginning, how would the Xiao family end up like this? However, Yuqi was not defeated by her attitude, but showed her all kinds of care. Later, after a long time, the two of them were able to say a few words. The region competition is about to begin. Yuqi said, the people of Vast Region have already set off for Great U City, and Murong Shi is among them. Hearing the name Murong Shi, Xiao Ruobai bit her lip, and the hand on her knee subconsciously clenched into a fist. She killed the envoy not long ago, and the princess still wants to find a chance to get rid of her. Why is she here at this time? Yu Qi stared at her. You still care about her? The illusion array of Moon Creek Valley was personally arranged by her, and she even used poison in it. If there was no illusion array, the Xiao family would not have been destroyed so easily. Don't you hate her? I hate her. Xiao Ruobai did not hide her hatred, but I also know that the illusion array she arranged was not aimed at the Xiao family, but to find out the person who killed Murong Hui. If Grandpa and the others hadn't done anything to Murong Hui, such a thing wouldn't have happened. Speaking of which, she looked up at Yuqi. So, I hate you even more. If it weren't for you, the Xiao family would still be the Xiao family from before, and my family would still be alive. Yuqi did not deny her words, nor did he argue for himself, because this was the truth. You hate me, I can only bear it. But what do you think about Murong Shi coming to Great U City? He looked at her face, not letting go of a trace of her expression. Will you go to her for revenge? I don't know. Xiao Ruobai lowered her eyes. I am just an orphan with no support and no strength. What can I do to deal with her and Murong Hui? You still have me. Yuqi said, as long as you ask, I can do anything for you. If I ask you to kill yourself, will you do it? Xiao Ruobai stared at him, her tone very serious. Do you want to? Yuqi also said very seriously. Xiao Ruobai lowered her head. What does it matter? Isn't the result the same? What other choice do I have? She was just a lonely person now. What qualifications did she have to think about revenge? Rubai, I said, as long as you nod, you will be my princess. Yuqi looked at her helplessly. Don't you understand my intentions? I'm tired, I'm going back to rest. She didn't want to talk about these things anymore, so she got up and left him. Yuqi reached out to hold her hand, but it froze in the air. Looking at her determined back, he sighed deeply. Don't worry, I will avenge you. He said loudly to her back. I will. Xiao Ruobai paused, but did not turn around. Actually, you just want to find an excuse to deal with Murong Hui openly, because he doesn't want to be with you. Don't you think it's a bit despicable to use me as an excuse? Chapter 1821. Sima Yue, Murong Hui, and the others sat on a group of flying beasts and hurried towards Diyu City. Murong Hui looked at Sima Yue and hesitated several times. Sima Yue was unable to focus on her book. She raised her head and asked, Father, what do you want to say? Are you really going to Diyu City? Murong Hui asked. Sima Yue put down her book. We've already discussed this before we set off. But the closer we get to Great Yu City, the more uneasy I feel. Murong Hui said worriedly, I think you should go back to Vast City. Wang Fei sent someone to send a message before. Although she has an agreement with the Mo clan that she can't do anything to you in Liao City, if you leave Liao City, it will not be within the scope of the agreement. You know Wang Fei's background. Even Wang Ye may not be able to control her. I know. Father, you're worried that the princess consort will take revenge on me. But at the same time, I'm also worried about you. Sima Yue said, if you don't go, you will become the target of the princess' revenge. Father, I don't want anything to happen to you. Murong Hui was a little moved. Before leaving, they also had a conversation, but Sima Yue didn't say that. Instead, she told him that she had the ability to protect herself. Father, I know that Vast Region is the place where you and foster mother met and fell in love with each other. That's why you don't want to leave and want to guard your place. But you also want to develop Vast Region. Vast Region has a lot less resources than other regions. If we want to improve ourselves, the region competition is a very important opportunity, so we can't miss it. If Princess Consort targets you or takes her anger out on the team, you won't be able to compete properly. You child? Murong Hui looked at her emotionally. However, I am still worried. Father, I think the Princess Consort is also secretly watching me. You don't have time to send me back now, so even if I go back now, I'm afraid I will only be hunted down. Sima Yue blinked. Are you sure we still want to continue discussing this topic? Murong Hui's words were blocked by her. He shook his head and stopped persuading her to go back. In fact, she was right. There were people who had been paying attention to their situation. Once she left the team, she would immediately be killed by those people. Father, don't worry, Yuan Yen told me before leaving outside that Emoji will go to Great Yu City in 2 days. With him protecting me, you can focus on the competition, Sima Yue said. Besides, I'm not the same person who was bullied 2 years ago. Even if I reveal my strength, I'm not afraid of being targeted. Speaking of which, I don't even know how strong you are now. Murong Hui looked at Sima Yue curiously. Although he could see that her aura was getting stronger, he couldn't see her specific strength. He didn't know what method he used to hide his strength. Well, you'll know when the time comes. Sima Yue did not intend to tell him about her strength. It was not because she did not trust him, but if she told him now, he would be frightened. This was too inconceivable for him. But the more mysterious she was, the more curious Murong Hui was. and his heart was like being scratched by a cat. At this time, Murong Lin came in from the outside and looked at the two with a solemn expression. Master, miss, there is a situation. Sima Yue and Murong Hui both stood up. What's the matter? We are surrounded. Murong Lin said, the princess can't help but make a move. Does she want to go against Wang Ye? Sima Yue said in surprise, if she makes a move now, the whole team will be involved. If anything happens to the contestants participating in the region competition, how will she explain it to Wang Ye? According to the rules of the dynasty, before the region competition, all contestants are protected. If anyone dares to make a move on the contestants, they will be punished by the dynasty. It seems that the princess's strength has improved greatly again, so that she can ignore the rules of the dynasty. Murong Hui said, or her hatred for me is not unsuppressible. As soon as she learned that I left Vast City, she couldn't wait to send assassins over. Sima Yue said, give the order, kill with all your strength. Don't think that we are really afraid of her. Even if today's matter is picked up in front of Wang Ye, it is still reasonable for us. Murong Hui ordered.
Yes, master.
Murong Lin took the order and went out, telling the accompanying guards. Soon, the people who came to assassinate appeared, and those guards fought without saying a word. Sima Yue and Murong Hui sat in the car and also worried about the outside, so they simply opened the door and went out. They were in mid-air at this time, and the rooms on two flying beasts had been destroyed, which showed the fierceness of the battle. Sima Yue felt the weight of the guy on her wrist, touched its head and asked, do you want to play? Hei Yen flicked its tail. Go ahead. Be careful not to hurt the people outside. Anyway, those people already knew the existence of Hei Yen, so she didn't have to hide it. Hei Yen received the order and happily flew down from her wrist and returned to its original body in front of everyone's surprised eyes. The huge black dragon made the whole sky dark. She really does have a black dragon. The assassins were not surprised to see Hei Yen, but when they saw that their people were destroyed by Hei Yen's dragon breath, they were surprised by her strength. Isn't he a young dragon? How can there be such a strong dragon breath? Was the previous news fake? No. Our news can't be fake. Could it be? It has grown so powerful in these 2 years. No, no. Hei Yen looked at the horrified people triumphantly and shouted, a group of ants also want to kill my contractor? What a whimsical idea. I will send you to hell now. It sprayed dragon breath several times at the assassins, and none of the people locked by it escaped. Then its huge body rolled up several people, and when it released, they were already incomplete. And the people caught by its claws were almost torn in half by it. The guards of the Duke Manor had already retreated to their side. Seeing that Hei Yen almost defeated the assassins alone, they were scared. This is too powerful. Miss is so powerful. It's not Miss, it's Mrs. Contract Beast. It's so powerful. Sima Yu had always known that it was a warmonger. However, its battle prowess and destructive power had frightened her. Your black dragon has entered the mature period? It's only been 2 years. Murong Hui was also shocked. No wonder Sima Yue didn't tell him about her strength. This black dragon's fighting power was too strong. If her contract beast was like this, then what about her? To what extent had she reached? Chapter 1822. Xiao Ruobai's breathing paused slightly, and then she brushed the hair around her ears as if nothing had happened, and said, I didn't have much contact with her before, but after contact, she is indeed a little different from the rumors. However, who can say that the previous rumors are true? Maybe this is a trap arranged by Murong Hui early in the morning to let his daughter pretend to be a waste, and then let people know at the right time. Yu Qi curled his lips. This is indeed a good way to protect her. However, I still think another possibility is more likely. What possibility? She is not Murong Shi. If you think so, then think so. You didn't think so? Xiao Ruobai shrugged. I never thought so. I don't think Murong Hui has the ability to find an identical person to pretend to be his daughter. That's true. Yu Qi no longer stared at her, but picked up the spirit fruit on the table and played with it. Do you know? It has been several days since our people were killed. We have lost their news. I think they should be arriving at Great U City soon. Do you want to see her? No. Xiao Ruabai refused without thinking. When I see her, it will be time to take revenge on her. That day is not far away. Yu Qi turned and left after saying that. Xiao Ruabai waited for him to leave before picking up her hand under the table, and her palm was pinched by her 4 deep marks. I promised not to tell your identity. This is the last thing I will do for you, she murmured. The next time we meet, we will be enemies. What she didn't notice was that on the beam of the room, a small bee was perched on it. When Sima Yue stepped into Great U City, the expression on her face suddenly became a little sad. Enemies? She narrowed her eyes, and when she opened them again, her eyes returned to their usual clarity. Enemies are enemies. In this world, some people are destined to not be friends. Don't just stand there, we are going to the inn. Murong Hui stood in front and urged. Coming. Sima Yue walked over quickly. Why are you standing there? Murong Hui asked with concern. Just looking at the streets of Dayu City. Sima Yue answered, Dad, let's go. If you like, you can go out with Gu Zipping and the others. The county competition was around the corner, and the management of Dayu City was still very strict. Even if it's Wang Fei, she won't dare to make trouble for us again. Gu Zipping heard him mention his name and said to Sima Yue, Miss, I heard that there are many good places in Dayu City. We are about to go out for a walk. Why don't you join us? Gu Zipping and the others had interacted with Sima Yue a few times because of the spirit gathering formation, so they were more familiar with her than the participants of the city competition. Yes, Miss, it's your first time in Dayu City. Let's go and have a look. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. Sima Yue did not agree or reject. It would depend on her mood tomorrow. The group came to the place that had been reserved. She and Murong Hui got the 2 best rooms, and the others each had 1. Sima Yue came to her room and changed the quilt and sheets to her own. Then she set up a boundary and flashed into the spirit pagoda. Yu. Little Seven and the others all rushed towards her and hung on her. You go down, this is my position. You go down, this is my position. Little Golden Snake and Hei Yen were still fighting for her wrist as the previous 2 times. That was their territory. Yu, when can we go out? Little Seven hugged her and asked coquettishly. Yes, Yu, we haven't been out for a long time. Little Rock also wanted to see what the ghost realm was like. Don't worry. Sima Yue separated the 2 little guys who were wrestling on her wrist and continued, my identity hasn't been exposed yet. If you go out, I will be exposed in a minute. Alas. Little Seven sighed, it's like this again. When do you plan to let others know your identity? At least wait until my strength increases a little. Sima Yue said, or wait until I can stand in front of the Ghost King without fear. That feels like a long time. Little Seven shook her hand. I really envy Little Dream and Hua Hua, and also Little Black and Hei Yen. They are dark-type underworld beasts so they can go out with you. I still need Murong Shi's identity, so... Sima Yue looked at the beasts apologetically. Ever since they woke up, they had never left the spirit pagoda. It was reasonable for them to yearn for the outside world. But she couldn't let them go out. If they went out, her identity would be exposed and others would know that she was Yukuluo's daughter. Yu, don't blame yourself. We were just casually saying it. Little Seven pulled her hand. As long as everyone is fine and can still be together, it's good enough. It's a pity that Little Roar and Thousand Resonance aren't here. Otherwise, everyone can be reunited. Little Dream said sadly. That's right, everyone is here except for the 2 of them. I really miss them. Ye Guang and Thousand Resonance and Little Roar had been together for the longest time and had the deepest feelings for them. When I return to the human realm, we can meet again. Sima Yue comforted, I will work hard. Although she said so, it would still be a long time later. This was something that everyone was well aware of. At this time, Little Spirit appeared. Looking at the group of sad people, he raised his little face and said, you don't have to be so sad. It's not like there's no way to get them over. Little Spirit, you mean there's a way? The beasts looked at Little Spirit expectantly. Barely. Really? Then what is it? Tell us quickly. Little Spirit climbed into Sima Yoyue's arms and hugged her neck, saying, I only found out recently. What did you find out? Connection. Connection with your body. Little Spirit said, You mean, you can still feel the condition of my body from here? Sima Yue asked in astonishment. Little Spirit nodded and continued, I always thought that it was because I had a soul contract with you that I followed your soul to the ghost realm. But as your strength grew, my recovery got better and I could slowly feel the connection with your body. So, you are now the bridge between my body and soul? Sima Yue was happy. That's right. Little Spirit said, When I fully recover, I can use this to bring little roar and thousand resonance in your body over. Really? That's great. Everyone was happy. Little Spirit was not as optimistic as them. Don't be happy too early. Based on the current situation, it's impossible in a short time. Chapter 1823. Sima Yue saw that Murong Hui didn't look at Hei Yen, but stared at her and smiled at him. You little girl, you really hide it deeply. Murong Hui rubbed her head. This is also good, with the black dragon protecting you, I can also rest assured when we go to Dayu City. But, Sima Yue looked at him, not knowing how he would blame himself. If you had told me earlier, I wouldn't have been entangled all the way. But this is good. If you know how to hide your strength, you can better protect yourself. If the princess knew that her contract beast was so powerful, the assassin's scent would not be at this level. Lin, dispose of these bodies, let's continue on our way. I think the rest of the journey will not be as leisurely as before. */ If the attack failed, the princess would definitely send someone else. Then there would be a lot of pursuit along the way. Father, we don't need to play this game with her. Sima Yue said, the people she sends next time will not be so easy to deal with. What if the people she sends hurt our players? You want to, let's change our route so that we can go to Dayu City calmly. Sima Yue said, it's not good to always have a tail behind us, is it? Murong Hui thought about it, nodded and agreed, and told Murong Lin to inform them to change the route. Master, are we going to wait here for those people to catch up? Murong Lin asked. They won't catch up. Sima Yue said, otherwise, they wouldn't have followed us for so long. The best way is to take the initiative to attack. But we don't know where they are and how many people they have. I know. Sima Yue smiled mysteriously, and the two of them felt numb, feeling that someone was going to suffer. Half a day later. There are so many snakes here. God, this is not the place where the snakes appear at all. Attack. Who hit me? I didn't hit you, I'm attacking those stinky snakes. Everyone who was watching from the side was dumbfounded. They couldn't understand the scene of people killing each other. This is the role of the illusion array. Although I have seen the illusion array once before, it only made the Shao family tell the truth. I didn't expect this illusion array to be used to attack. Indeed, this array formation is too miraculous. I haven't seen such an array in the ghost realm. Murong Lin was also shocked to see this kind of attack illusion array for the first time. Miss, how is this done? It's very simple. In their eyes, their companions are all monsters. Sima Yu explained, this kind of illusion array is a little more difficult than the average one. That's because not only do we have to make them hallucinate, we also have to make them mad, afraid, angry and so on. Only then will they attack the monster in front of them. Ordinary formations don't have this kind of effect. At most, they can create some monsters, but attacking will only consume spiritual power and won't cause this kind of damage. It's really amazing. When we solve these tales, we will go to Dayu City. Sima Yue was no longer interested in the following situation, and the ending would not be unexpected. Miss, there is one more thing I am curious about. Murong Lin looked at her, hoping that she could solve his doubts. This is very simple. Sima Yue thought, and many bees flew towards her and stopped on her. These are my bees. Sima Yue stretched out her hand and let the scarlet bees stop on the back of her hand. What are these bees? I didn't feel their existence at all before. Murong Shishin reached out and grabbed one, which looked like an ordinary bee. This is the bee I am responsible for collecting information. I brought it from the human world. For some reason, they fell into a deep sleep before. Now they are awake. Seeing the scarlet bees, she was in a good mood, and the raised corners of her mouth showed her good mood. In the past 2 years, not only the scarlet bees, but other spirit beasts have also woken up one after another. Now the only one who has not woken up is Qi Yan. Both Murong Hui and Murong Lin know her identity, so it is not surprising that she has a contract beast from the human world. With these little guys, it will be much more convenient to do anything in the future. Asking people to spy on the news may be discovered, but these bees are easy to ignore. Otherwise, how do we know the whereabouts of these guys? Sima Yue said, and I have sent some to Dayu City. When we get there, we should be able to know the news there. At that time, I will tell my father about the information collected. Know yourself and know the enemy, and you will not be in a hurry. Murong Hui and Murong Lin were both moved by her actions. It was worth it to meet such a person in their life. When the guards below were solved, they changed their original route and went to Dayu City from another city. Because there were no spies and they lost their route, they walked very calmly all the way. However, compared to their calmness, others were not calm. Xiao Ruabai looked at Yu Qi, who came to her room, and was very puzzled by his control of his hostility. What's wrong? She asked. She would take the initiative to care about him, which was an improvement. When Murong Hui and Murong Shi were in Eternal Brilliance City, you were there too. Yu Qi said. Yes, what's wrong? I remember when she went to Eternal Brilliance City, she was just a waste who didn't know anything. Xiao Ruabai glanced at him and replied, yes. What's wrong? Then why didn't I know that she had such a powerful array attainment in just a few years after she went there? You mean the array formation in the Moon Creek Valley? I saw the young master of the Mo clan was also there. He is an array master. Xiao Ruabai said, so, when you said that the array was arranged by her, I never believed it. You are defending her. Yu Qi stared at her. Why? She is your enemy. I didn't defend her, I just don't think it can be her. Xiao Ruabai looked back at him. You haven't said yet, why are you angry, and why are you talking about Murong Shi again? The person sent by the princess to monitor Murong Shi was killed on the way. Our people found the remnants of the array there. Yu Qi said, as far as we know, Murong Hui did not bring an array master with him. So you suspect that Murong Shi did it? Haven't you ever doubted it? Yu Qi leaned close to her face and observed her expression at close range. Why did Murong Shi change so much after amnesia? Amnesia will change a person's personality. Will it change a person from a waste to a genius? Rubai, what do you think? Chapter 1824. Although Little Spirit said so, everyone's enthusiasm was not repulsed. As long as there is hope, it means that it can be realized. Little Dream said, is there any way for you to recover faster? As long as you can find a space artifact and merge me with it, I can recover. Little Spirit said. Space artifact? Can you use a space ring? Little Spirit looked at Little Seven with contempt. Is a space ring a divine artifact? It can't even be ranked. What I want is a real divine artifact, you know. Little Seven pursed her lips. The ghost realm is so big, you can always find a divine artifact. When the time comes, we will snatch it and merge it with you. That's what you said. I'll wait. Little Spirit said with a smile. We'll wait, as long as you find a divine artifact, we will snatch it for you. Little Seven did not jump into the pit dug by Little Spirit and said with a smile. Little Spirit rolled his eyes. These words were equivalent to not saying anything. Space artifact, I will go out and ask around. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find out the whereabouts of the space artifact. Sima Yue said. Since it is a divine artifact, it will be hidden. I'm afraid it won't be easy to get the news. Sima Lu Xian walked over and said. So if I'm lucky, I will know. Sima Yue said, It's best if I can meet it, if not, then when I return to the human realm, I can still reunite with Little Roar, Thousand Resonance and the others. It's best if you think so. Sima Lu Xian was afraid that she would be obsessed if she suddenly knew such news. Now that he heard her say so, he did not have to worry about her. I didn't plan to go out, but now it seems that I have to go out more. Sima Yue said, okay, you have to be good inside, I'm going out. You, when you go out, you have to cultivate well and improve your strength so that we can go out earlier. Little Seven looked at her expectantly. Sima Yue rubbed her hair, agreed, and went out of the spirit pagoda. That night, she sorted out the information collected by the Scarlet Bees and handed it to Murong Hui the next morning, then went out with Gu Ziping and the others. As the imperial city of the dynasty, Diyu City was naturally bustling. Moreover, because the county competition was around the corner, many outsiders had come, so there were more people walking on the streets. Miss, where do you want to go? Gu Ziping asked her. Sima Yue stood at the crossroads and looked at the streets that extended in all directions. She said, I want to take a look at the shops that sell underworld weapons. Do you want to buy an underworld artifact? I just want to stroll around. Sima Yue smiled. If you want to go somewhere, you don't have to follow me. I have Ting Shan and Ting Shui to accompany me. Gu Ziping looked at the calm and steady Ting Shan and Ting Shui, who was looking around curiously, and said, we'd better go with you. There is a rule in the city that forbids anyone from attacking the contestants, but it doesn't apply to you. This is Princess Consort's territory. It just so happens that I also want to see if there are any suitable dark artifacts. Let's go together, Zhang Mingda, the other person in the secret trump card, said. Yeah. Fong Yinghan also nodded. I heard that there are a lot of good dark artifacts in Diyu City. Let's go take a look. Maybe we can find something we like. Sima Yue looked at the three of them and smiled. It was not in vain that she had set up the spirit gathering array for them. In that case, let's go. The six of them went to the dark artifact shop. Immediately, a shop assistant came up to them and greeted them warmly. Everyone, what kind of dark artifacts do you want to see? We're just looking around, Fong Yinghan said. Then do you have anything in mind? I can introduce it to you, the shop assistant continued. I want a long sword. Do you have any good ones? Gu Ziping asked. We have a lot of long swords here. There are all kinds of grades. I'll take you to take a look, the shop assistant said. Gu Ziping and the others wanted to go, but Sima Yue said, you guys go ahead. I'll go to the space container area to take a look. I'll find you guys later. The space container is on the second floor, the shop assistant introduced. Gu Ziping and the others felt that they should be fine since they were all in the shop. They agreed and followed the shop assistant to the weapon area. Sima Yue took Ting Shan and Ting Shui to the second floor of the space container. Immediately, the shop assistant above came up to greet them. Miss, what do you want to see? I want to see the most expensive space container here, Sima Yue said. When the shop assistant heard this, her eyes lit up. She bowed slightly and said with a smile, please follow me. Sima Yue followed her to the innermost area. The things on the shelves here were the least, but from the box, it could be seen that the things here were more expensive than the ones in front. On this shelf is our most expensive space container here. This is a space ring. The volume inside can hold half of a city. In this box is a bracelet. The space inside is similar to this space ring. In this box is also a bracelet, but it can hold a city. Inside this, the shop assistant opened all the boxes on the shelf. Each box contained an exquisite underworld tool. However, Sima Yue only took a glance and lost interest. Don't you have anything better? She asked. What do you want, miss? A divine tool. It's best if it already has a tool spirit. Sima Yue made her request. The shop assistant was so shocked by her words that he couldn't speak. He was slightly angry. He thought that she was making fun of him and didn't really want to buy a space container. However, seeing that she was serious and didn't seem to be joking, his anger was suppressed again. Miss, we are just an ordinary underworld tool shop. We don't have such a precious underworld tool. Not to mention us, even the best underworld tool shop doesn't have such an underworld tool. Because such an underworld tool won't be taken out at all, he said. A hint of disappointment flashed in Sima Yoyue's eyes. Then, she nodded to the shop assistant and said sorry for disturbing. She turned around and walked back. The shop assistant didn't send her out. Instead, he carefully closed the lid of the box. Before Sima Yue came down the stairs, she heard a commotion below and Zhang Mingda's persuasion. "Zi Ping, don't be impulsive. This is Dayu City." Then came Fang Yinghan's voice. "They are also contestants in the region competition." "But you saw it first," Gu Zi Ping said angrily. "What do you mean who saw it first? This is a shop. You don't have it, so it's not yours. Of course, the highest bidder gets it. If you don't have the money, don't be an eyesore here." An arrogant voice mixed with a few wild laughter came out. Hearing this, Ting Shui wanted to curse. Sima Yue stood on the stairs and looked at the commotion below. "The highest bidder gets it. It's really good. Boss, I want that long sword." Chapter 1825. The sudden interruptions silenced the crowd. Sima Yue took out a crystal card and threw it into the hands of the shop assistant, saying, "I want that sword." The shop assistant took her card. After seeing the type of card, he immediately became respectful. "Miss, I will wrap up the sword for you." He was about to swipe his card when he was stopped by a man in white. He looked at Sima Yue and said, "Who are you? How dare you steal my sword?" "Who I am is not important. What's important is that I've also taken a fancy to that sword." Sima Yue smiled. "You just said that the sword belongs to the shop if you haven't paid for it. Everyone can buy it, and the highest bidder will get it. I'm just following your rules. So you want to go against me? Do you know who I am?" The man in white asked with a dark expression. "For you? I don't care. This young miss doesn't know any random cat or dog." Sima Yu leaned her body against the railing of the stairs, disdaining his identity. "You've got guts. Our young master is the young master of the He family, He Su." The lackey behind the man shouted. "He clan?" Sima Yue chuckled. "I know that the 7th family in Dayu City ranked 10th in the dynasty competition." "It's good that you know." He Su gave a smug look to Sima Yue, but his smug look did not last for more than 2 seconds. "But so what? You were the one who said that the highest bidder would get it. I just like it, so I'll have to ask young master He to part with it." Sima Yu urged the shop assistant as she spoke. "What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and swipe your card." "I'm leaving." "Yes." The shop assistant nodded and bowed. When He Su let go of her, she wanted to swipe Sima Yue's card. "Wait." He Su stopped him. "She hasn't called out a price yet. Why are you swiping her card? Young master He, you won't be able to raise her price." The shop assistant said. "It's still too early to tell. Don't you know my He family's financial resources?" He Su said with a cold smile. "Young master He, she just gave you the dragon crystal card." The shop assistant only said one sentence, and He Su's words were all stuck in his throat. Everyone looked at Sima Yue in a different light. Even a 3-year-old child knew that the dragon crystal card was the most valuable crystal card among all the crystal cards. Only people above Wang Ye were qualified to use it. And the lowest amount of money inside was at least 5 billion. Therefore, don't compare money with people who have dragon crystal card, because there is no comparison. "For you, how can you have a dragon crystal card?" He Su looked at Sima Yue and guessed her identity. When Fang Yinghan saw the shop assistant swiping the card, she hurried over and said, "Miss, the price is too expensive. Let's forget it." Because He Su had just raised the price very high, if Sima Yu went to buy it, the price must be above He Su's price. Sima Yue glanced at Fang Yinghan and said, "Did you take a fancy to this long sword?" "Yinghan has caused trouble for Mississippi," Fang Yinghan said with self-reproach. "There is no trouble. It's just a long sword. I can still afford to give it to you." Sima Yue said, "Later, I'll ask my father to prepare more money for each of you, so that some people won't look down on you." Fong Yinghan held back her laughter and lowered her head. Thank you, Mississippi. You are that trash Murong she from vast region? Someone beside Hisu recognized her identity and exclaimed. Vast region? The very backward vast region? Everyone looked at Sima Yue with a different gaze. They really couldn't put her and the dragon crystal card together. How can a trash have a dragon crystal card? Hisu questioned. You couldn't have stolen that dragon crystal card from somewhere, right? If it's so easy to steal, why don't you try to steal one for me? Sima Yue laughed. If you can steal one, I will give you mine. Everyone present laughed and looked at Hisu as if they were looking at a fool. How could a dragon crystal card be so easy to steal? Not to mention that the person who owns the dragon crystal card has a noble status and there are many people around to protect them. Just say that this dragon crystal card and the owner's thoughts are connected. If the owner is not willing, others can't use it. Therefore, no one has ever been able to steal a dragon crystal card. As for her dragon crystal card, it was given to her by Deja when he left. Not only that, but there is also a dragon crystal card in her spirit pagoda, which is marked with the Mo clan's logo. Impossible. How can vast region have a dragon crystal card? Hisu was still unwilling. What's impossible? Do you think that because my vast region is scarce in resources and my strength is low, I can't have a dragon crystal card? Sima Yue chuckled. Then have you all forgotten who my mother is? Her mother? Many people really don't know. Who is your mother? My mother? Princess Jinghua has been dead for many years. However, I have a very powerful uncle. With him, a mere dragon crystal card is nothing. Sima Yue looked around at the people below, and the aura she released was very domineering. Miss, it has been swiped. The shop assistant came over with her card and the wrapped long sword. Sima Yue glanced at Fong Yinghan. He took it and then handed her the crystal card. Sima Yue took the crystal card. Let's go. Let's go to other shops. This miss will buy you all the things you like today. Ting Shan, Ting Shui, you also go and have a look. I will give you benefits today. Thank you, miss. The group of people crowded around and left, not caring that Hisu was choked by her until his face turned red. In the end, Hisu gritted his teeth and left with his people. People familiar with him knew that he already hated this woman who made him lose face. In the private room upstairs, a man in a pink robe put down the weapon in his hand and looked at the bored person next to him. He laughed and teased, "When did you treat your niece so well? I remember that you haven't cared about the affairs of vast region since your sister died, right? Of course you don't know. She knocked the edge of the teacup with the lid. Even I don't know. How do you know?" What? The man in the pink robe was stunned. Didn't you give it to her? I was angry that Jinghua didn't listen to me and insisted on marrying Murong Hui. Since her death, I haven't cared about the affairs of vast region. I didn't even know that my niece, who was called Trash, had such an imposing manner. She put down the lid of the cup and collided with the cup, making a crisp sound. This means, she poked the lid of the cup and said, "Since the task here is over, I will find something for myself to do. My niece seems to be very interested now, so I will go and meet her and ask when she will return the dragon crystal card to me." Chapter 1826. Sima Yue didn't know this and continued to take a few people to visit the underworld artifact shop. As she expected, there was no whereabouts of the space artifact in those shops. The space artifact was too rare. No matter who got it, it would not be revealed. Just like her spirit pagoda, there were only a few people who knew about it. It was not until the evening that she returned to the inn with people. Before she entered, she saw the guard outside looking at her nervously. "Miss, you are finally back." Murong Lin came out of the inn and saw Sima Yue and said anxiously, "Uncle Lin, what's the matter?" Sima Yue asked, "Miss, the envoy is here." "Envoy?" Sima Yue blinked. "Who is it? Why are you scared like this?" Murong Lin remembered that she didn't know this and explained to her, "The envoy is your mother's brother, your uncle. He is the king's envoy." "My uncle? Why is he here?" Sima Yue asked in surprise. He was mentioned in the morning, and he was here at night. Would he come to expose her lie? The envoy said that he happened to be working in the Great U City. He knew that you were here, so he came to see you. Murong Lin said. Sima Yuyue's mouth twitched. He knew that she was here. Was it because she mentioned him in the morning? Didn't father say that he hasn't seen us since mother died? I don't understand why he came here at this time. Sima Yue curled her lips. Anyway, you should go in quickly. Murong Lin said, Master can't hold on any longer. Is father afraid of uncle? How can he be a brother-in-law? Murong Lin smiled. You'd better go in quickly. Then I'll save father. Sima Yue nodded and strode into the inn. When she went to the small courtyard in the back, she saw several new faces, probably the guards of the envoy. She went into the living room and saw Murong Hui sitting in the main seat, with a man in black and a man in pink sitting on both sides. Father. Sima Yue bowed to Murong Hui, then stood still and looked at the two strangers. Why aren't you paying your respects when you see your uncle? The pink-robed man said. Sima Yue glanced at him, then bowed to the man in black and called him uncle. Haven't you never seen her before? Then how does she know who her uncle is? The pink-robed man cried out. Ask her. Yushi said. The man in the pink shirt stared at Sima Yue as if he had been deceived, waiting for her to give him an answer. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. My father is so handsome and my mother is so gentle. I definitely don't have such a flirtatious brother. Are you saying that I'm a show-off? The man in pink jumped up from his chair. He was infuriated by Sima Yue's words. What is a person who wears a pink shirt if he's not a show-off? Sima Yue said very honestly. How is wearing pink a show-off? I'm obviously young. Sima Yue glanced at him. Show-off everywhere. It was the first time Yushi heard this. He felt that it was not bad and nodded in agreement. This word is used well. You're also smart. You didn't recognize the wrong person. Thank you for the compliment, uncle. Sima Yue smiled at him. I don't know why uncle is here today. Is it to catch up with my father? I have nothing to catch up with your father. Yushi stared at her. I heard you say that I gave you a dragon crystal card in the underworld artifact shop this morning. I actually don't have anything to do. I just came to ask you, when did this happen? Why don't I have any impression of it? Cough cough. Sima Yue said in her heart that it was indeed for this matter, but she didn't expect him to hear it with his own ears. Yushi leaned forward slightly and looked at her. Sima Yue rolled her eyes and didn't answer his question. Instead, she said, since uncle was there, why didn't you come out to help That he family's young master is too much. You're not me. How do you know that I didn't help you? Yushi asked. Uncle, what did you do? Sima Yue knew that there was a chance when she heard this. It's nothing. Your uncle asked me to beat up that Su. He probably broke a few ribs and 2 legs. The man in the pink shirt said. Uncle, who are you? Sima Yue asked. My name is Lang Yu. I'm also a messenger like your uncle. Lang Yu introduced himself. You can call me Uncle Lang. Uncle Lang? Sima Yue's mouth twitched. Not only was he dressed like a show-off, but his name was also so feminine. Were you bullied? Murong Hui asked. It's not a big deal. It's just that a guy wanted to snatch the sword that Fong Inghan fancied, and then I used money to get it back. So in the end, the person who was bullied was him, not me. You don't have to worry. Sima Yue walked over, stood beside him, and held his shoulder. Really? Of course it's true. When have I ever lied to you? That's not necessarily true. Lang Yu said, this He family still has some power in Diyu City. Now that you're against the He family, they will definitely make trouble for vast region. Didn't uncle already help me? Sima Yue smiled gratefully at Yushi. With uncle's help, there will definitely be no problem. You really believe him? Lang Yu sneered. Of course, he's my uncle. Sima Yue believed in Yushi's strength. Otherwise, Murong Lin and the others wouldn't be so nervous. When Yushi heard this, he curled his lips. Am I really your uncle? Sima Yue's heart tightened. Of course you are, right, father? Yes, you'll know when you look at her and Jinghua's appearance. Muronghui thought that he thought She had seen her for the first time, so he asked this question. Or you, what's your relationship with Deja? Shi's coercion was all locked on Sima Yue, and he immediately felt a little breathless. Brother-in-law, what are you doing? Muronghui stood up and stood in front of Sima Yue, blocking the coercion for her. I just want to make sure who dares to pretend to be Jinghua's daughter. Deja actually sent such a similar person over. What is his ulterior motive? Shi looked at Muronghui. And you, my brother-in-law, why are you helping a fake to deceive me? Muronghui wanted to say no, but when he saw Shi's determined and angry look, he knew that he had already guessed it. Do you want to confess? Lang Yu obviously knew it for a long time, so he wasn't surprised to see this scene. Shi stared at the two of them. I'll give you one last chance. Why are you pretending to be Jinghua's child? Why are you helping her? Where is Jinghua's real child? Speak, or die, you choose for yourself. Chapter 1827. Speak or die, it's your choice. It was a very domineering sentence. Coupled with his intimidating pressure, it was indeed easy to scare a group of people. However, there was obviously no one in this group. Sima Yue leaned out from behind Muronghui, looked at the angry Shi and said, Uncle, how did you find out? Every dragon crystal card has the aura left by the previous user. When you swipe the card you receive will be stained with some aura. And I just identified Deja's aura. Shi said, Why don't you tell me now? What is your relationship with Deja? Are you the person he sent to sneak into vast region? How could he identify it like this? Sima Yue curled her lips. Well, we'll tell you. You put away your aura first, it's scary. Say it. You scared my father. Sima Yue felt Muronghui's nervousness and said, Muronghui was not only not as strong as him, but he had probably been afraid of Shi before, so his body was very stiff. However, he stood in front of her without any intention of retreating. Shi was a little surprised by the reason she said and the relationship between the two. Obviously, Muronghui knew her true identity, but he still tried to protect her. She was also worried that he would be hurt by her. He restrained some of his pressure to make Muronghui feel better. Say it. Sima Yue looked at Lang Yu. It's okay. Shi said so, completely trusting Lang Yu. However, Sima Yue did not trust Lang Yu, but if she told him, he would tell Lang Yu, so she did not insist on letting him go. If she told them now, if they wanted to say it, would it be too late for her to kill the two of them? Although they are not on good terms with General D, they are not Anaheim's faction. Muronghui saw her hesitation and said, Sima Yue nodded at him and said, Actually, the real Murong is already dead. And I just arrived at the ghost realm at the same time and place and was saved by my father. Then, in order to find out who killed Murong, I took her identity. Shiger is dead? Who killed him? They were sent by the Anaheim, Su Kuei. Sima Yue said, but Su Kuei and the others have already been killed. Su Kuei was killed by you? I was wondering who killed him. Anaheim was so angry. Lang Yu's impression of Sima Yue improved a lot. Su Kuei used to be the person he disliked the most. Well, we didn't kill him. When we were about to kill him, Deja and the others came. They were the ones who did it. Sima Yue said. Were you sent by Deja? Shi asked. Sima Yue shook her head. But I do know him, and that dragon crystal card was given to me by him. No, you just said that the time and place of Murong's death, you just happened to come to the ghost realm. So, you were not from the ghost realm before? Lang Yu grasped the key point. Are you? She thought of the same possibility as him, and then turned his questioning gaze to Muronghui. Seeing him nod, he believed her identity. My goodness, are you really? Sima Yue touched her face and said, It's the real deal. This face does look like Kaluo. She looked at Sima Yue. I didn't expect you to come to the ghost realm from the human realm. That's not right. Lang Yu sniffed. I can't smell a human on you. Are you born in the year of the dog? Sima Yue glared at him. I'm not born in the year of the dog, but my nose is very sensitive. Even if you hide your human aura, I can smell it. Lang Yu said, you really don't have it on you. She earth. Murong Hui turned to look at her. He always thought that she was hiding her human aura, wasn't she? Sima Yue didn't know what to say and returned herself to her soul state. That's it. Your soul? Are you already dead? I was. But they saved my body and let me hang on to my last breath. But my soul can't go back for the time being. Sima Yue said, but I can also have memories of my life. Why didn't you tell me before that you are a soul race? Murong Hui looked at Sima Yue's transparent body and blamed himself for his carelessness. I was able to condense my body because of some opportunities. In fact, it's nothing. I can already cultivate now. Sima Yue comforted, whether it's the ghost race or the soul race, it's nothing. The news I got today is too exciting. I have to digest it well. Lang Yu sat back in his chair in a daze, obviously shocked by Sima Yue's identity. Speaking of which, we are still related by blood. You have to call me uncle. Yushi said. So it's not wrong for me to call you uncle just now. Sima Yue quickly tried to get close to him. Does the king know that you came to the ghost realm? Yushi asked. Sima Yue shook her head. I'm still using the identity of Murong Shi, so not many people know about it. You also know that I killed Anaheim's son, you do, and she sent people to the human world to kill me. If she knew that I came to the ghost realm, she probably wouldn't have a peaceful life. And my current strength is not enough for me to walk freely in the ghost realm, so it's better to keep it a secret first and wait until my strength increases. If you tell the king, he will protect your safety. Yushi said. I will go to see him when I need to know the whereabouts of my mother. To that matter, you really can't blame the king. Yushi was also present at that time, so he knew something. I know, he was also forced to do so. But knowing is one thing, and having one's own thoughts is another. Sima Yue said, I don't want him to know that I'm in the ghost realm now. So, you have to keep it a secret for me. Yushi was a little hesitant. After all, the person he was loyal to was the Ghost King, and he knew that the Ghost King actually cared about her and her mother. Was it really good to hide it from him? If you say it out loud, don't blame me for being ruthless. Sima Yue threatened, if you say it out loud, it's better to kill you now. What? You want to kill us? When Lang Yu heard this, he didn't know whether to be angry or laugh. Did you plan to do this long ago? It's not that long ago, but I thought that if you were on Anaheim's side, you would never be able to leave this in today. Sima Yue said. Do you think you can keep us here? Lang Yu raised his eyebrows and was in a good mood. Sima Yue smiled at him. If you don't believe me, you can try. Chapter 1828. Give it a try? Let's try it. Lang Yu refused to admit defeat and said, your uncle and I are two people, and you are alone. We have so many guards outside, and they are much stronger than you. How are you going to make us stay? Sima Yue did not say anything and quickly formed a seal with her hands. Before they could react, she had already surrounded the house with a barrier. This barrier can isolate the situation inside, so the people outside don't even know that you are trapped. After dealing with you, wouldn't it be easy to deal with them? But the people outside can't hear what's going on inside, so you can't ask for help. The two of you are far weaker than the two of us. Do you think there's a chance of winning? Lang Yu said. Why don't you try and see if you can still use your spiritual energy? Sima Yue looked at him with a smile. Her confident look made her even more lively. Lang Yu tried to run his spiritual power and found that there seemed to be something in his meridians that was hindering the operation of his spiritual power. You poisoned us? Lang Yu was shocked. With his nose, he didn't smell the poison. Yushi also gave it a try and found that the circulation of spiritual power was indeed not that smooth. He looked at Sima Yue and no one knew what he was thinking. Although the flow of our spiritual energy isn't very smooth, we can still use it. And we also have contract beasts. Lang Yu said. Contract beast? Do you want to compete with me? Sima Yue asked. Lang Yu was just about to say that he was right when Yushi spoke first. We lost. Yushi? Admitting defeat just like that? If we fight, we still have a chance to win. Lang Yu said. Competing with her in contracted beasts is just asking for trouble. Have you forgotten about her contracted beast in the human world? Yushi said. Lang Yu was at a loss for words and then said, Isn't her contract beast in the human world? Since she's so sure, it means that she must have brought it over. Yushi said, and some of her contracted beasts are of the dark attribute, and they're very powerful. Lang Yu opened his mouth and then said, Well, if you hadn't secretly poisoned us, we wouldn't have lost. It doesn't matter what method I use, as long as I win against you. Sima Yue said, Are you going to tell your enemy that I'm going to poison you and that you should be careful? Well, they couldn't do it either. When did you poison him? Lang Yu asked, Why didn't I smell anything at all? This is a colorless and odorless poison that I specially developed for powerful people. When did I put the poison in? I was frightened by Uncle just now. My hand trembled and I accidentally spilled it. Sima Yue was very innocent. She accidentally spilled it? Only a fool would believe her. Fortunately, we are not your enemies. Lang Yu thought of her means and wisdom and said happily, If you are my enemy, I won't use this. Sima Yue snorted. She still had a lot of poisons. If it was an enemy, she would definitely use antiaris and not such a mild poison. Can you show me your poison? Lang Yu asked. It's the first time a poison can escape my nose. Sure. If you promise to keep it a secret, I will give you the antidote and then show you the poison. Sima Yue said. I have no problem. Anyway, I don't see the king often. Lang Yu agreed very quickly. Seeing this, Yushi could only agree helplessly. Sima Yue took out a jade bottle and threw it to Yushi. Then she came to Lang Yu's side and took out a black jade bottle and put it on the table. Lang Yu picked up the jade bottle and poured some powder on his hand. Then he leaned over and sniffed it. There was no smell. Where did you get this poison? I'm going to ask him how you did it. In fact, it's nothing. I just pay attention to the combination of the raw materials and then refine it to make it pure. Sima Yue said. Did you refine this? I made it when I had nothing to do. Are you a poison master? Kind of. Then do you have any other poisons? Let me see if they are colorless and odorless. How can there be so many colorless and odorless poisons? Some are still not up to that level. But they are better than the others. Sima Yue took out a bunch of poisons. After Lang Yu looked at them, he became even more excited. He jumped on the chair and squatted down, discussing these poisons with her. Yu Shi and Murong Hui looked at the two people who were discussing in full swing and looked at each other helplessly. Tell me the whole story. Yu Shi was speechless and could only talk to Murong Hui. Murong Hui told Yu Shi what had happened over the years from beginning to end. Hearing that Murong Shi was really dead, Yu Shi still felt sad. Although he didn't care about her all these years, she was still his sister's blood after all. Now she was dead. When he heard what Sima Yue did for Vast Region and Murong Hui, he sighed. She and her mother's temperament are really similar. It's really enviable that the princess has such a daughter. Murong Hui said, but I am also very lucky to get her to treat me wholeheartedly. She really respects me as a father. It's really good. But you have to remember, before her strength is improved, her identity can't be exposed. In addition to Anaheim, her enemies are those who died in Fair Eastern City. The incident at Fair Eastern City in the human realm had caused a huge commotion in the ghost realm because many forces had people who died in that incident. And they all knew that this matter was finally destroyed by Sima Yue. If he didn't mention this, Murong Hui wouldn't have remembered this matter. Now it seemed that her situation in the ghost realm was really dangerous. I will be careful, he responded. The two chatted for a long time, and Lang Yu and Sima Yue were still talking endlessly. To be precise, it was Lang Yu who pulled Sima Yue and talked endlessly. Most of the time, he was talking, and Sima Yue was listening, occasionally interjecting a few words. However, what she said made Lang Yu feel enlightened, so even if she didn't say much, he didn't care. Yu Shi endured and endured, but in the end he couldn't help but interrupt him. We should go back. Go back? Go back where? Lang Yu looked at him with a dumbfounded face. Yu Shi held his forehead. We should go back to the inn. They still have things to do. We won't go back. Lang Yu waved his hand. I will live with she. Anyway, she said that she won't participate in the region competition, so there's no need to prepare anything. Let's move to this inn too. We have to go back to the imperial city to report to the king. Didn't the king say that after this matter is done, he will let us rest? Well, I won't go anyway. Wherever she is, I will be there. If you want to go, you can go by yourself. Sima Yuyue's mouth twitched. Hey, do you have to say it so ambiguously? Chapter 1829. Yu Shi knew that once Lang Yu's stubborn temper flared up, no one could change it. He could only helplessly instruct the guards to change their inn to this one. His grade had dropped a lot in an instant, wasn't it? However, Murong Hui was even more helpless. They didn't even ask for his permission to switch to this inn. What about human rights? Sima Yue was also helpless, because Lang Yu had been talking to her for several hours, and Yu Shi and Murong Hui had already left the living room. Uncle Yu, look, the sky is already dark. She pointed at the pitch-black night sky outside. It's already night time? Lang Yu didn't realize it at all. Time flies. Sima Yue smiled. Well, I'm going back to rest. Goodbye. After that, she ran out of the living room and went back to her room without waiting for Lang Yu's answer. If he didn't seize the opportunity to leave, he wouldn't be able to. Lang Yu was very hurt. Was he someone that people wanted to avoid? He was not a venomous snake or beast. Early the next morning, Sima Yue took Ting Shan and Ting Shui out, saying that they had not found the whereabouts of the space artifact, but in fact, it was to avoid the crazy Lang Yu. Therefore, when Lang Yu went to find Sima Yue and learned that she had gone out, he was hit hard in the back. Am I that terrible? He said sadly. Compared to her, you are indeed, Yu Shi said. Tiske, I don't care about you. Lang Yu rolled his eyes at him. By the way, didn't she offend the princess? As far as I know, the princess consort of Great Yu is a vengeful woman. She should know that she has arrived in Great Yu City. Won't it be a problem for her to run out like this? Yu Shi frowned. This was indeed a problem. Why don't we go find her? We have nothing to do anyway. Lang Yu said with a smile. But I don't know where she went. That's easy. Have you forgotten my specialty? Yu Shi glanced at him. I remember now. You have a dog's nose. Come on, let your dog nose do its job. Hey, let me remind you for the 354th time that my nose is not called a dog's nose. Lang Yu shouted. It's the same. Yu Shi ignored his clamor. If you don't go now, I'll change my mind. You win. I don't know whose niece she is. Lang Yu protested but still led the way obediently. His nose was especially sensitive to smells, and this might have something to do with the underworld beast he had contracted. He had stayed with Sima Yue yesterday. If he wanted to, he could catch her scent in the air and find her. They followed the smell for a long time and entered all the shops that sold underworld tools. Thinking that he was also in the underworld tool shop yesterday, Lang Yu asked, Is she so short of underworld tools? She must be looking for something, Yu Shi guessed. We've searched so many places. It seems that it's not easy to find that thing. Lang Yu touched his chin. Let's ask him later. Even if we don't have it, the king should have it too. Yu Shi said. If you tell the king, I bet you'll be tortured badly by her. Her poisons, tsk, are really good. When Lang Yu talked about Sima Yue's poisons, he became excited. Don't waste any more time here. How much longer will it take to find her? Soon, let's go this way. Sima Yue walked into a small alley with Ting Shan and Ting Shui. Soon, a group of men in black blocked the front, back, and both sides of the alley. So many people have come, they really think highly of me. Sima Yue looked at them and had a rough idea in her heart. Murong Shi, if you have self-awareness, surrender obediently, so that the people around you will feel better. I have a lot of people, but I have fewer shortcomings. The main shortcoming is that I don't have self-awareness. So, I'm afraid I'll disappoint you. Sima Yue said. Then don't blame us for using force. Go. Sima Yue called out Hei Yen and Little Meng, and then pulled Ting Shan and Ting Shui to the wall and stopped. Ting Shan condensed a protective circle and enveloped the three of them. Wakaka, people like you want to kill my contractor? You must be tired of living. Eat my tail first. Hei Yen said and swung his tail. Sima Yue rolled her eyes. You always say this sentence, can't you change the line? Little Meng was much quieter. Looking at the men in black, she didn't say anything, condensed her spirit power and started fighting. When Hei Yen started fighting, she had already taken down 2 enemies. Damn, do you have to be so fast? Don't you have to say something first? Why did you start fighting directly? Hei Yen exclaimed. Since he joined the beasts, he knew that they would often compete to see who killed more enemies. This was the first time he killed enemies with other contract beasts. He didn't expect to meet Little Meng, who didn't play by the rules. Little Meng rolled her eyes at Hei Yen during the gap in the battle. Acting cool at this time, wasn't that waiting for people to attack? Hei Yen didn't pretend anymore after being stared at by her. He spread his wings and attacked those men in black. Sima Yue felt that Hei Yen needed Little Meng to spur him on. Let him be with Little Meng more in the future. Hei Yen, who was fighting with the enemy, suddenly felt a little cold, as if he had been schemed against. When Yu Shi and Lang Yu arrived, they saw corpses in the alley, and 3 people in the corner who were not stained with blood. Yu Shi frowned when he saw a portion of the corpses that were intact and a portion that had been torn into pieces. Are you guys all right? Sima Yue shrugged. What do you think? It seems that you are not the ones who are in trouble. Lang Yu looked at the corpses. Tisk, you are too cruel. You even dismembered them. You all use poison. Which one of them didn't die tragically? Although Sima Yue disliked Hei Yan's violence a little, she was still very protective of her beasts in front of outsiders. Who said that? Many of my poisons are very gentle, and their deaths are absolutely beautiful. Do you want to take a look? Lang Yu defended himself and tempted her at the same time. Sima Yue was too lazy to pay attention to him. If she agreed, he would talk a lot again without stopping. She turned her gaze to Yu Shi. Uncle, why are you here? Passing by. Yu Shi said lightly, it seems that the princess consort of Great Yu underestimated your strength again. You are pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. That's good. Sima Yue laughed. Otherwise, I would probably be dead by now. That's true. Let's dispose of these corpses directly. After Lang Yu finished speaking, he poured some liquid on the corpses. As soon as the liquid touched the corpses immediately turned into pools of blood. Uncle Yu, I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Hey, are you still going to the underworld weapon shop? What are you looking for? This underworld weapon shop is almost finished by you. How do you know? Before she finished speaking, she felt movement in the spirit pagoda and took out the Sun Mother stone. Something happened? Chapter 1830. Something happened again? Where are you now? Were you attacked? Murong Hui asked anxiously. Father, I'm fine. What happened? Gu Zipping and the others went out and were beaten up. Sima Yue was shocked. Aren't they contestants? How dare those people do it? Do you know who did it? Lang Yu asked. I don't know yet. Are you with Lord Envoy? Okay, father, we'll be back soon. Sima Yue said as she put away the mother-son stone and glanced at Yu Shi and the others. He's still my brother-in-law. Let's go take a look together. Yu Shi said. They returned to the inn and Sima Yue went straight to Gu Zipping's room. Murong Hui, Murong Lin, Fang Inghan, and others were all inside, all bruised and swollen. Gu Zi was lying on the bed as a doctor was treating him. Blood dyed the entire bed red. Father. Murong Hui turned his head to look at her. Seeing that she was intact, he said, It's good that you're back. How's Gu zipping? Sima Yue asked. Fang Yinghan's eyes were filled with tears, and she was on the verge of breaking down. It's all because of me, Ziping. Zhang Mingda's face was full of tears and blood. He was ashamed when he saw Sima Yue. The county had spent so much time, energy, and resources just for this competition. Who would have thought that before the competition even began, they would have already suffered heavy casualties? Ziping's meridians have been cut. Murong Hui said. Don't worry, I'll take a look at his condition first. Sima Yue nodded at everyone. The doctor stepped aside and allowed her to treat the patient. Sima Yue first checked his external injuries and sighed in her heart. No wonder they were like this. If it was an ordinary doctor, Gu Zipping would be crippled. Then he checked his internal injuries. Although they were more serious, they were easier to deal with compared to external injuries. How is he? Murong Hui asked. He had spent a lot of money to nurture Gu Zipping for this competition. Now that it was like this, he was afraid that this chess piece could no longer be used. Sima Yue knew Murong Hui's thoughts and said regretfully, I'm afraid he won't be able to participate in this competition. Zhang Mingda burst into tears, and the tears in Fang Yinghan's eyes couldn't help but fall. It's all my fault. If it weren't for me, how could Zipping become a cripple? Royal Prince, we have failed to live up to your expectations. Zhang Mingda knelt down with a thud and slapped himself repeatedly. Alright, Gu Zipping is like this. It's useless no matter how much you regret it. And I can't blame you for this. Murong Hui's mood was a little irritable, but he tried to restrain himself from getting angry. When Sima Yue saw the two of them crying, she thought to herself that the three of them usually cultivated together, and their relationship was really good. I didn't say that Zipping would become a cripple. I just said that he can't participate in this competition. Her words made the two of them stop crying. Zipping can still be saved? But didn't you and the doctors say that he was going to become a cripple? Zhang Mingda said with some disbelief. I just said that he can't participate in the competition. It was the doctor who said that he can't be saved, not me. You have to understand it yourself. Sima Yue said, I can make him recover, but it will take a long time. He will definitely not be able to catch up with this competition. When Murong Hui heard that there was still hope, he felt a lot more comfortable. Even if he couldn't participate in the competition, he could continue to be used by him in the future. Since there is a way, I'll have to trouble you. He said to Sima Yue. Father, this is a trivial matter. What's important is the competition. Sima Yue said, Zipping was originally one of our trump cards. Now that he can't participate, then we have one less player. There are still a few days before the competition. We have to quickly fill this vacancy. I'll discuss this with Lin again. You go and treat him first. After Murong Hui finished speaking, he took the people in the room out, leaving her to heal Gu Zipping. Sima Yue looked at Gu Zipping, who was covered in blood. Thinking that he had accompanied her to go shopping yesterday, and now he was like this, she couldn't help but sigh. Don't worry, I will definitely cure you. She took out the silver needles and began to stop the bleeding and heal him. Outside the door, Murong Hui and Murong Lin were discussing things. Zhang Mingda and the others were guarding the door, waiting for Sima Yue to come out. Lang Yu and Yu she didn't leave. Did you see it? Lang Yu asked. Yu she understood what he was talking about. Then it's not my illusion. Lang Yu said, I used my divine sense to check that person's injuries. All his meridians were destroyed. Coupled with other injuries, this is definitely a situation where he's crippled. She actually said that she can cure him. How good is her medical skills? Even the imperial doctor may not be as confident as her. She said confidence, not her medical skills, which meant that he didn't really believe in her medical skills. If she can really do it, then her medical skills are better than the imperial doctor. Lang Yu said excitedly, those doctors rely on their medical skills, and their buttocks are going to be raised to the sky all day long. If you let her slap their faces, she also laughed. Maybe there will be such a day. Because they were interested in Sima Yue's medical skills, the two of them didn't leave and waited in the yard with everyone. Not long after, a guard came over and said a few words to Murong Hui. Murong Hui left after telling Murong Lin something. The guard said, "You the great Wangya asked him to go to the palace." Lang Yu looked at Murong Hui's departing figure, touched his chin, and said, "It seems that the situation of you the great Wangya is not very good. It's been so long since he found out. His body has seriously restricted his strength. If this continues, the Great Yu dynasty will probably have to change its actual ruler." Yushi said, "He is on Deja's side. Whether something happens or not, it has nothing to do with us." "But they won't think so. Just don't cause trouble for her." Yushi didn't care much about other people, but if Sima Yue was involved, then he wouldn't agree. "The princess consort of Great Yu is fine, but I'm afraid that the forces behind her." Lang Yu said with some worry. "A traitor, what's there to worry about?" Yushi didn't have a good impression of the forces behind the princess consort of Great Yu, nor was he afraid of them. No matter how powerful they were, they didn't dare to go against the Ghost King. A few hours later, the closed door opened, and then a tired Sima Yue came out from inside. "Miss, how is Zipping?" "The situation has stabilized, and he just needs to recover slowly." Sima Yue said, "Where's my father?" Only then did everyone realize that Murong Hui had been away for several hours. It was reasonable to say that if he just went to talk about this matter, he should have come back long ago. Chapter 1831. Sima Yue saw that everyone's expression was not right, and her heart sank. "Did something happen to my father?" "Miss, shortly after we came out, someone from the Wangfu came to call the master over." Zhang Mingda said. "It's been so long he hasn't come back yet?" Sima Yue frowned. "Where's Uncle Lin?" The person in charge of the competition came to see the Duke, and Director Murong went to receive him. "It should be about Zipping." "Girl, can we go and see that person?" Lang Yu asked. Sima Yue glanced at the two of them, nodded, and then said to Zhang Mingda and others, "You are also injured. Take these pills, and they will help you recover before the competition." "Thank you, Mississippi." They all knew that Sima Yue's pills were better than other pills, and for the sake of the competition, they did not refuse. "You look after Zipping. If anything happens, contact me in time. I'll go and see how Uncle Lin is doing." Sima Yue finished speaking and left Gu Zipping's courtyard. Lang Yu and Yushi came to the room. Lang Yu went up to see Gu Zipping's situation and said in shock, "His meridians have been connected." "Are you sure?" Yushi was a little surprised, but not as shocked as him. "Although it's not completely healed yet, it's all connected. As long as it's supplemented with pills, it will be fully recovered in time," Lang Yu said. Zhang Mingda and others came in and happened to hear him say this. Their hearts were a lot better, and at the same time, they admired Sima Yue's medical skills. "I always thought that our talent was very good, but now compared with Miss, I feel that we are not good enough at all." Fong Inghan sighed. "And we are not as hardworking as Mississippi," Zhang Mingda said. "Miss saved Zipping for us, we must repay her well. You have to compete well and win glory for vast region, which is to repay them." Yushi finished speaking and left the room with Lang Yu. Sima Yue came to the inn's living room and did not see Murong Lin. She pulled a guard over and asked, only to know that Murong Lin had gone out with the people who came. "Miss, do we need to find the manager?" The guard asked. "No need," Sima Yue said and walked out alone. When the guard saw that she was about to leave, he said, "Miss, are you going out?" Sima Yue was asking the scarlet bees of the prince's mansion to check the whereabouts of Murong Hui. Seeing a few worried faces, she said, "I'm going to pick up father." "Miss, it's too dangerous outside. Master definitely doesn't want anything to happen to you." The guard said, "Why don't you wait at the inn for Master to come back?" "Don't worry, I have little black." Sima Yue said, "Protect the people inside well, Dad and I will be back soon." After saying that, she left the inn alone without waiting for the guard's response. The guard watched her leave and opened his mouth, but in the end he didn't stop her. Sima Yue walked towards the king's residence. Along the way, she kept in contact with the scarlet bees. Unknowingly, she had walked to a deserted area. She stopped and looked at the sparse buildings around her. She sighed slightly. Do you need to make such a big scene to deal with me? You're quite sensitive. A voice sounded around her, making her unable to distinguish the direction. What's the point of hiding? Since I've already found out, there's no point in hiding anymore. Sima Yue said. Although you've found out, there's no need for this old man to come out. The voice said, You're not worthy to see this old man's true face. I think you don't have the face to meet people? Sima Yue said, But even if you let me enter your illusion, you can't trap me. It's already good that you can recognize my illusion. How many people have died in my illusionary realm without even realizing it? The old man said proudly. That's someone else, not me. Sima Yue said, Since you think that I'm not worthy to meet you, then I can only let you see my ability and see if I can make you think that I'm qualified to meet you. Shameless boasting. A little beast dares to bark here. Sima Yue said and released a wave of spiritual energy towards the southeast direction. Then a scream was heard. You can actually find my location. The old man shouted angrily. I said, You're just a little beast. Do you think you're so great just because you know a little illusion? Sima Yue snorted and released another wave of spiritual energy. An old man suddenly appeared on the empty street. How did you find out where I was hiding? The old man realized that he was injured by Sima Yue and fell into his own illusion. He was extremely shocked. Sima Yue thought that it would be an underworld beast that would appear. She didn't expect it to be a little old man. It's actually a ghost. This means that you've made a contract with an underworld beast that can create illusions. She analyzed. How did you know? Normal people wouldn't be able to discover the existence of illusions, much less my hiding place. There must be someone stronger helping you. The old man didn't believe that he was discovered by a junior like Sima Yue. He looked around, trying to find an expert. Don't bother looking, there's only you and me here. Sima Yue said. There's really no one? Then how did you discover me? The old man still didn't believe her. Sima Yue shrugged her shoulders. It's very simple because I have an underworld beast that's stronger than you. What? How is that possible? Furthermore, do you really think that you're still in the illusion that you created? Sima Yue kindly reminded him. The old man saw the smile on her face and had a bad premonition. He sensed for a while and his expression changed. This wasn't his illusion. You created an illusion that's similar to mine. I didn't even notice it. How is that possible? He tried his best to sense the illusion, but no matter how many times he tried, the result was the same. He couldn't control this illusion. From the moment you fell in, you entered my illusion. Sima Yue said. Even if you can create illusions, it's impossible to create one that's exactly the same as mine and without me noticing. This is impossible, this is my illusion, how can I not know? He shouted. Of course it's because I have an underworld beast that's many times stronger than you. Sima Yue said, Little Meng, come out and show him what a spirit-type spirit beast is. Little Meng came out and didn't hide her aura. The old man felt her aura and was stunned on the spot. Dream, incubus. How is that possible? He cried out, Incubus is already extinct, how can it still exist? In this world, there are some things that are impossible. For example, before you came to kill me, you definitely didn't think that you would die here today. Although you have incubus, it's still impossible for you to kill me. It's a pity that this incubus will die with you, otherwise I can use it to form a contract. Chapter 1832. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows, so confident? Do you think you can trap me in a dream like this? The old man laughed. I've studied illusions all these years, these illusions won't be able to trap me at all. Then try it. Sima Yue said. I've studied incubi before, I know the weakness of their race's illusions. The old man said, as long as I attack, I'll naturally be able to break her illusion. Sima Yue was a little surprised. Xiaomeng's illusion actually had a fatal weakness? His contracted beast is from a small branch of our clan, maybe he really knows. Xiaoming said. Then I'll give you a chance, I'll let you try. Sima Yue said, I won't attack you, I'd like to see if you have the ability to get out. The old man snorted, he condensed his spiritual energy and attacked towards an inconspicuous direction. Xiaoming's illusion was indeed on the verge of collapse. The scenery on both sides of the street became illusory and then disappeared. At this moment, they were in a narrow alley. Hee, I've said before, you all have weaknesses. The old man said proudly, without the illusion, you're not my opponent at all. Sima Yue shook her head and sighed. Actually, I really want to play with you and see what you're capable of. But I'm going to pick up my father now. So, I'll have to end this quickly. Ah, little girl, you're so young, it's not good to boast. I'm not called Dream Realm's ancestor for nothing. I don't care so much. Sima Yue said, me heir, you take care of it. Dream Realm's ancestor saw that she didn't call Xiaoming, nor that black dragon, but another contracted beast. His heart became alert. However, he didn't see any underworld beast come out. He thought that Sima Yue was just bluffing. Just as he was about to attack, he found that he couldn't move at all. This isn't the real world. He shouted in horror. Could it be that you can weave two illusions? No, impossible. Even if it's an incubi, it's impossible. It's indeed impossible for there to be two illusions. But who said that this is an illusion? Sima Yue smiled innocently when she saw his shocked expression. The Dream Realm ancestor suddenly thought of something, and the shock on his face turned into horror. This is a domain. How is this possible? Nothing is impossible. Sima Yue touched her long hair. Since I let you know Xiaoming's identity, I'm confident that you won't be able to leave here alive. Me heir, end this quickly. This was not a normal training session, so Sima Yue did not plan to do it herself. Me heir spread out from her hand. She did not even let the Dream Realm ancestor see his real body. A cloud of black fog wrapped around him. After it retreated, only a pile of white bones was left. The Dream Realm ancestor didn't even have time to scream before he died. He probably didn't expect that he would die in such a small alley after so many years in the Ghost Realm. Sima Yue called Xiaoming and Mi heir back, and then continued to walk towards the Prince of Great Yu's mansion. At this time, in the Prince of Great Yu's mansion, a figure hurried into a gorgeous courtyard. Princess, we lost again. The person lowered his head, not daring to look at the Princess of Great Yu's face. The hand that was writing paused, and the 10,000-year-old black-wood pen broke in half. Lost again? How many waves of people have been sent out? The Princess of Great Yu's voice was cold, showing how angry she was now. The person immediately knelt down and said, Princess, please calm down. Who was sent this time? The Dream Realm ancestor. He also lost? The Princess of Great Yu was a little surprised. She thought that she had just sent an ordinary person, but she didn't expect it to be one of her confidants. Princess, the Dream Realm ancestor's life tablet has been broken. What did you say? The princess stood up and looked at the person on the ground in shock. You said he is dead? Yes, princess. How could it be? Although his strength is not very high, but with the help of the illusion he can complete every task successfully. This time, he actually fell into the hands of Muronghui? The Princess of Great Yu was a little suspicious. When did vast region have such power? Princess, it's not Muronghui, it's just Murongshi. Muronghui came to the prince's mansion today because the contestants were beaten. Murongshi left the inn alone. You mean Murongshi can deal with the Dream Realm ancestor alone? When we got there, not even the bones of the Dream Realm ancestor were left there. But his life tablet was broken. Useless thing. The Princess of Great Yu grabbed the inkstone beside her and threw it at him. The inkstone hit his forehead, leaving a big bump. Princess, please calm down. Calm down, calm down. You only know how to calm down. I sent so many people, but they couldn't even deal with a little Murongshi and lost so many people. Tell me, how can I calm down? The Princess of Great Yu rebuked angrily, why did I raise a bunch of trash like you? This subordinate is incompetent, please punish me, princess. The person on the ground lowered his head even more. However, we feel that Murong she is not as simple as a duke's daughter. What do you mean? We all know the strength of vast region. With the strength of the dream realm ancestor, it is reasonable to say that it is more than enough to deal with them, but there are no bones left. This subordinate thinks that there should be someone behind vast region. Nonsense. She is now living with them. Even if Princess Jinghua dies, it can't erase the relationship between them. Princess, envoy, you did not send anyone to follow Murong Shi. So, Murong Shi is more suspicious? This is just this subordinate's guess. Since it's a guess, then confirm it. In addition, send the double fiend of Black Shadow. The person on the ground was stunned for a moment. Was there a need to send the double fiend of Black Shadow? But since it was the princess's order, he could only agree and then retreat. The Princess of Great Yu looked at the calligraphy and paintings on the desk with cold eyes. Murong Shi, you killed my brother. I must make sure that you won't be able to leave this Great Yu city. On the other side, after Sima Yue killed the Dream Realm ancestor, she continued to walk and came to the Prince of Great Yu's palace. However, she did not let the guard report, but stood dozens of meters outside the gate, waiting quietly. This wait lasted for half an hour. When the guards saw her standing there, they couldn't expel her because she was standing a safe distance away. But they couldn't ignore her, especially when she kept staring at the prince's palace. That gaze made them feel uncomfortable. Finally, the captain of the guards came over and asked, "What are you doing here? This is the prince's palace. Unrelated people should not stay here." "I'm here to find my father." Sima Yue said, "I'm waiting for him to come out and go back together. He's almost done." You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.